Hello there.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. Wherever I go, he goes. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy. I'll teach him everything that I know. My buddy and me like to climb up a tree. My buddy and me, we're the best friends that could be. My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy and me.
My Buddy from Play School.
George Lucas, next to you, who is the most knowledgeable Star Wars expert on all of the Earth?
Steve, that Star Wars boy. If I can do something and Steve says, oh, wow, then I won. Something that people can enjoy. Just somebody who's got a fetish with making the world to be the way he wants it to be. Sort of narcissistic.
Have you heard about Steve, that Star Wars boy's new YouTube channel?
I think it's a very important part of society, and I'm going to create a world where people can fly.
Make sure that desert rat doesn't find a new grill. Do whatever it takes.
Wouldn't it be easier just to give her a raise and treat her a little bit nicer?
Take this fob and get the job done.
Okay, if that's what you want. Let's go, guys. We got a job to do. There she is. Anka is right. She looks like she could make a good sandwich.
You do not cover your face. You are not Mandalorian.
Catch me outside, how about that?
What does your dream girl look like? Does she have long dangly leku? Are you all alone tonight? Well, let's turn up the temperature. It's about to get hot in here. Call now to talk to hot Twi'lek girls. We are waiting for you.
Only 99 keshels per space minute. Adults only.
I was a terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene. I used to have the tray deuce and the deuce in my bubble goose. Now I got the Mac in my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks up in accent sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking fly kicks. Honeys wanna chat, but all we wanna know is where the party at. And can I bring my gat? If not, I hope I don't get shot. Better throw my vest on my chest, cause niggas is a mess. It don't take nothing but frontin' for me to start something. Bugging and bucking at niggas like I was duck hunting. Dumbing out just me and my crew, cause all we wanna do is bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit. It's the N-O-G-O-R-I-O-U-S. You just lay down slow. It's the N-O-G-O-R-I-O-U-S. You just lay down slow. Bitches in the back looking righteous. In a tight dress, I think I might just hit her with a little Biggie 101. How to tote a gun and have fun with Jamaican rum conversation. Blunts in rotation, my man Big Jock got the Glock in his waist and we're smoking, drinking. Got the hooker thinking, if money smell bad, then this nigga Big is stinking. Is it my charm? I got the hookers eating out my palm. She grabbed my arm and said, let's leave calm. I'm hitting skins again. Rolled up another blunt for the Heineken. Niggas start to look out, a kid got choked out, blows were stoned, and a fucking fight broke out. Can't we just all get along so I can put hickeys on the chest like little Sean? Get a pissy drunk off a Dom Perignon, and it's on, and I'm gone. That's that party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit and party and bullshit. It's the N-O-G-O-R-I-O-U-S. You just lay down slow. It's the N-O-G-O-R-I-O-U-S. You just lay down slow.
That's much better than the one I had in the movie.
Hello there.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Blue Milk Social, episode 8, with a very special guest, Jeremy Eisenfire and Matt Fowler. Arrogant Ape is here with us tonight. Crazy Mad could not make it, but I see him here in the chat, and hopefully he'll be able to tune in as much as he can and keep us company in the chat. But we got a little video clip he sent that we'll show here in a few. But first off, what's new, Arrogant Ape?
Not much. I was having a lot of conversations with sequel lovers, and if you think the sequels are good, well, I've got a bridge on Alderaan to sell you. So that's all I have to say about that.
Great. Great. I don't know what to say after that.
Me either. I wouldn't know either.
Directly below me here, we have Mathew Fowler from Retrographic Books, the creator of Tiger Blue, Prospectors, Psycho 66.
Look behind me,
Dixie
Steve. I don't know if you
Rose.
check. Look at the wall behind me. You see all the action figures hung up.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Right above your head, straight in line. Yeah, I got them behind me, too.
Every variant, man. Even the one of one golden
Oh,
one
yeah,
you made,
yeah.
man. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Sweet. And you can see behind here, he's a video game aficionado and also Star Wars fan. Next, you guys probably all know Jeremy Eisenfire from his own channel. Some of you might even be here tonight because Jeremy told you guys about
Thanks
it.
for having me. I've been looking forward to this. It's been a wild ride watching this Ahsoka series, so it's going to be fun diving into it with the most knowledgeable Star Wars expert on the earth,
Awesome.
and his panel, of course.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you here, both you guys. So what, you want to dive right in? You guys want to hear Crazy Mad's review first before we get started?
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But first, I have to congratulate whoever made that intro today. That was
Oh,
just
that was me.
great stuff, man. Great stuff.
We got more later on.
the part about hitting the skins and then dipping, and it shows Anakin macking on Padme and then light speed off in the Falcon. Dude, that shit is funny as hell, man.
I love how it leads up to the lyrics, and then the fight broke out, and then you cut the music. You see Vader and Luke going at it. It was just very well edited. It was good stuff.
After I made it, I thought, I should have put Fowler's name right there where the fight breaks out. But like
Well,
And,
what does Crazy Matt have to say about this?
Oh, okay.
Oh, never mind. Let me just.
I got a
derail
quick
everything.
question. So, are
Okay.
there post-credit scenes on these fucking episodes that I've been missing this whole time?
No,
or what?
no.
No.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, man. Well, because sometimes my feed will start populating with all that Ahsoka shit, right? Like that dude in a video store or that other guy talking about theories or whatever. And it's like, I've been seeing those like post-credit scenes explains it all. What's Balin looking for? And all that weird
Yeah.
shit is dominating the feed, right? So I just wonder, like, wait, man, I don't even hang out for no post-credit shit. Is there, so whatever. Okay, cool. Had to make sure, man.
Let's hear what Crazy Man has to say here.
Hello there.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on, my bad.
I do that all the time.
Okay, let's remove this one. Okay, here we go.
For the last
Oh, wait. What the fuck? It's already like half into it. Going great so far. Okay.
Hello there.
Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm Crazy Mad, and you have failed me for the last time. This series was mid as fuck. Star Wars needed a hit, and it did not deliver. There are some positives, such as Balin Skull and Shin Hati, Hayden and the Clone Wars scenes, and the possibility it could be well set up for the next season. But we needed more from this series than set up. Ahsoka was flat, Sabine's character was poorly written, Morgan Elsbeth was given an interesting new power and then immediately killed off. You gave us Balin and Shin as interesting characters and dropped absolutely nothing about them or what they're going for. The potential was there for this show, and it did not play out as well as it could have. I have this as a 5 out of 10. My fandom is still intact, and I will be back soon, but I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode with special guests Tiger Blues, Matt Fowler, and the host of the great streams about House of the Dragon and From, Jeremy Ice and Fire.
All right, thank you, Crazy. What do you guys think? You
5 out of 5. That's pretty
well,
hard.
Crazy explained his specific rating system. 5 is average. And I told him, I said, Crazy, if you use this rating system, then you have to explain it to people every time you use it. So I said, I'll give it a C.
So what would he give Andor? for reference, what would he give something like he?
I don't know.
Like
He's
Andor.
in the chat right now. Is he here?
Yeah, I hear Andor was good. I haven't started that one yet, but that one, from everyone that I've talked to, really enjoyed Andor. Like, it was a nice surprise hit.
We were watching.
It's
it
grown
together.
up. It's like it's
takes
darker and
very
a little
slow
bit, aimed at
burn.
an older audience, I think.
And I love that time period too, right around that Rogue One time period, which was Disney's probably best work that they've done, the Rogue One movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a slow burn. When it gets like right about to the middle, boom, it just takes off, and it ends. That Andy Serkis guy is just he's a good
phenomenal.
actor. And
yeah, he's great and everything.
It's really good. And I won't even say if you haven't watched it, I won't spoil it. But yeah, it's pretty good. Give it a chance. Takes there's only like 8 episodes. And the first time through, it might take you to like episode 4 or 5. Even the first couple episodes, you might be like, "This is boring as hell." If you go back and like watch them the second time, the beginnings, you're picking up on the more subtle parts. And it's more interesting.
Yeah.
But it's not as flashy. They don't have they don't have all the. It looks real dreary. They don't have all the fancy droids and aliens as much, but
yeah, nice look at the underbelly of Star Wars for a change. I'm all for that. I'm gonna check it out.
100%.
He wasn't Shin, Mo Biggs. That's the wrong show.
I like the prison. The prison on Andor is fucking cool,
part,
and like how the word spreads from block to block. When the whole shit, like very good shit, man. Reminded me of that THX 1138 kind of in the design of the look of the prison and shit.
Sort of like the Camino Clone Center too, only but it's
white and sterile
prisoners. But yeah.
Oh yeah, the Camino appearance, nice.
So what he brought, Abe? You want to start this analysis?
Oh yeah, man.
What do you guys think overall? Do you guys like it or hate it or what?
Oh, personally, I do you want to let Abe go or want me to go?
Go for it, Fowler.
All right. It wasn't dark enough because clearly it was going to be a cliffhanger. Like no matter what, after last week's episode, this one was, of course, setting up the cliffhangers of getting them all stuck, in Peridia and Thrawn back into the main galaxy, right? So we all pretty much knew that was coming. I had hoped maybe Sabine or Ezra would get into it with Enoch and leave, one of them severely injured or some kind of, Return of the Jedi or Empire Strikes Back, dark cliffhanger on this. It kind of ended too cheesy happy with like truncating Ezra escaping this Thrawn Star Destroyer and making it back to the Rebels and type shit. It just kind of cut out all the goodness and just skipped to it at the end. So I don't know, whatever. I thought there would be something darker to end with.
Yeah, that Enoch dude didn't even do anything through the whole show.
Yeah, they built him up for nothing.
Yeah.
And when they first introduced Enoch, we hadn't seen Ezra yet, and that was the first thing that popped into my head. I'm like, okay, are they going to reveal that this Enoch character has really been Ezra the whole time? That maybe Thrawn through the Night Sister magic, maybe turned Ezra or something. But it seemed like they were trying to introduce this Enoch character for a reason, then it just didn't really go anywhere.
Just to have his name there so that
on some Boba
know what I
Fett
mean?
shit, you know, just walking around doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know, kind of being
Like,
Unless they're setting him up for something for season 2, maybe.
He looks cool, and he's got this name Enoch that has you speculating. You know what I mean? Is this some who is Enoch in mythology and the Bible and the ancient aliens and all kinds of different ways? And
Book
you know
of
what I mean?
Enoch
They're
and all
just
that
like, yeah,
craziness.
this name will get people's imaginations moving or whatever, because this guy does nothing.
Yeah.
Except has this name and a gold face.
He's got a gold face, yeah.
I like that Thrawn destroyed the temple when he was dipping. That was a kind of cool watching him just
Yeah, cold, calculating, showing no attachment to it. And even the Night Sisters kind of looked at him when he said that. You know, it almost looked like they kind of had a little look of worry when he said destroy the temple. But Thrawn...
Oh, they were
the
pissed.
one kind of looked over at him like, what?
They were pissed, but they were already on the ship. They were already on their way out. They couldn't be like, whoa, back the fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't blow up the temple. So, that was interesting. I wonder how they're going to split. Like, how entrenched are they together? Thrawn and these great mothers, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know. I feel like Enoch's being set up to stab Thrawn in the back. Thrawn constantly has his back towards that dude. He's turning around on him. He trusts him implicitly. That's what he's being set up for. That or being dumped into a Sarlacc pit.
That's his origin. In the original version of Thrawn, you know, his top agent, Rook, who they showed in Rebels, but he's dead now. But, you know, betrayed by his bodyguard, killed by his the guy that was closest to him. So that is a possibility. They could have Enoch kind of just fill that role since they already killed the other
He would
guy.
have to betray him for a totally different reason, though, because Rook hated the Empire. Enoch, he's got that red undershirt, which is, I think you pointed out, Steve. It's kind of like the Imperial Guards, right?
Red is evil.
And
He's
evil. Yeah.
Did Mo point that out again?
And he's got the Imperial insignia all over him. He's Empire loyal. I don't think he's pretending. So why would he accept Thrawn? Starkiller is one of the crabs, I think. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, because you have to imagine, you know, if we do get a season 2, which it looks like we probably most likely will, at some point you've got to see some type of rift will probably happen between Thrawn and these Night Sisters. It seems like it's an uneasy alliance to start. Like Ape said, we're not quite sure how deep that connection is between the two of them. We know Thrawn woke them up, but that's really all we know. But I have to imagine at some point there'll be a little bit of a schism between the two, and maybe Enoch can be utilized by the Night Sisters to kind of betray Thrawn.
He may be
Thrawn's
green
gonna be
gas
like-
under there anyway.
He's gonna be like,
Yeah,
our
maybe he's
deal
already
is
got that Night
done.
Sister magic in him. No.
You know,
yeah.
as soon as he fulfills the bargain, he's gonna be like, "See ya." And I was thinking in the very, very first appearance of the Witches of Dathmore, and I believe it's Dave Wolverton, The Courtship of Princess Leia, where he, you know, just made this all up. The planet Han Solo goes into a poker game, a sabacc game. He wins the title to a planet. He goes to the planet. When he gets there, he finds it is interdicted, surrounded by an Imperial fleet and a minefield. So he ends up on the planet, and they find there's good witches that just look like normal, and they use spells to cast the Force, and then there's the Night Sisters who have turned evil or whatever. But the fact that the Emperor knew about them and had the entire planet like blockaded, I'm sitting there like Thrawn is going to send him down there. He's going to let him loose. They're going to do what they're going to do with all this spirit magic, and he's going to say, "Okay, I gave you what was promised. I'm out of here. And oh, by the way, we're just going to like leave this like fleet of 12 Star Destroyers floating around your freaking planet." Or, you know, something like that, possibly, or whatever. What did you think, Jeremy, of like overall? Did you like the series overall, or were you like,
It was, I mean, overall, I feel like it had some really good moments. I think Balon Skull and Shin's characters were definitely the highlight for me. I feel like Ray Stevenson kind of carried the series for the most part. Rosario, Rosario had some nice moments here and there, but overall, her performance was a little flat at times. Some of the fight scenes were good. A lot of the Rosario fight scenes were good. The Sabine ones, not so much. If you look at some of the Sabine fight scenes on slow-mo, you can really see the stormtroopers she's going up against are just completely just going right to the spot and almost waiting for her to hit them. It's really bad in some cases. But no, I was super intrigued with Balon's storyline, and just the way that his storyline ended right there with that huge cliffhanger with the Mortis gods being teased. That's what I wanted to see. I want to see more of that. I want to see a Balon spin-off show. Now, unfortunately, Ray Stevenson is no longer with us, but if they can recast the right actor, I would be all for a Balon continuation. If we do get a season 2 of Ahsoka and his arc continues there via another actor, I'll be watching it mostly just for him, because it was really, his stuff was probably the most intriguing.
You know what we didn't do is we didn't even say hi to the chat. I was so excited about my new guest. I forgot all about my chat. So let's say hello to Aldous, good friend of Jeremy, co-host of the shows going on over there from The Gutter on the other channel, the Comics channel, which I usually will watch on Friday nights about comic books and retro stuff generally. Here we got Perth. What about down? Are you talking about tonight, like us, or about the Ahsoka show? Hopefully, okay.
I know we're a poor substitute for Crazy Mad. This is true.
Crazy Mad was so bummed. Crazy Mad's the one who invited you guys, got it all set up, and then at the last minute some crap came up and he couldn't make it, and he was very upset. And we miss you, Crazy, but he should be back next week.
Speak for yourself, Steve.
I just have to say nice stuff like that to keep my guys showing up. Felix the Link Master.
So who would win in a lightsaber fight? Balin or Count Dooku?
Probably Count Dooku.
Why? Like, why though?
Well, probably Balin, because Count Dooku's dead already. Who else do we have around there?
Wait,
here we go.
Dooku brought back with Night
I'd say
Sister
during
magic.
the Clone Wars, like during the middle of the Clone Wars.
That'd be an interesting one. Dooku has, a little bit more of that acrobatic, Aratu type form, lightsaber form, whereas Balon seems much more tactical in his approach. Like the way he was handling Ahsoka, like almost he was anticipating every move she was going to make before she made it. And even he says, you can't beat me. And I think she knew she couldn't beat him.
Right.
That'd be an interesting one.
Now, is that because of his particular choice of lightsaber stance, or is that because of his like precognition that he's been displaying like throughout the series?
Probably a mix of both, I would think.
He's very aware of how his fighting style works too. I mean, he's very heavy, so you'll see oftentimes that rather than opting for a quick block, if his lightsaber's not already in position, he'll just step away or he'll lean back when Ahsoka's attacking. So he's very much aware of his own strengths. I don't know,
but he's got
Dooku's...
he's like honing in on this force power, so it's almost like in those Knights of the Old Republic video games or something. I mean, the closer you got to the end, to like the big bad planet, the stronger you would get. The journey that he's gone on to get there, exploring all, like, he keeps hearing this voice and it's led him on this path. So it's like his power, and now he's here in this place that's powerful. So like his powers are increasing. Hold on a sec. We got to say hi to Mobit. Kiwi Skirt. Welcome back.
Kiwi.
She shows up. Is it a she or he? Kiwi Skirt.
Kiwi is a awesome, beautiful she, and
yeah,
love seeing her here in the Star Wars chat.
Yeah,
Good member of the Frumley.
Avatar has pigtails, but I don't want to misgender anybody.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Okay, our good friend Finatra, bow, Shigaba.
Wow.
Hamalama.
Yeah,
Shigama.
Did we get Aldous? We said Aldous, and
got Mermaid Messiah coming in. Your secret admirer, Steve.
Raven. Yeah, one of many. Vermont Ched. Welcome, Vermont. I think I recognize you from last week. Yeah, here's Mermaid. Welcome back, Mermaid. I do like strike a pose. That was for you. We like to cater to our specific audience. Last week we made a video for Mo that was extremely hilarious, and he totally loved it. And we're waiting for Corey to pop in. We've got a special one we made for him. It's super degenerate. And see, look, everybody does.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mermaid.
Yeah, what's not to love?
I feel like Ahsoka and the Morgan.
Yeah, back to business, Fowler. All right.
No, I was to say the rematch, like nobody won it. You know, it was like, didn't she fight him in Mandalorian when she had that?
Yeah, Ahsoka and
Beskar spear
Morgan.
or whatever.
Yeah, the Beskar
now
spear.
She's got the powers there, but they want to show her fight a couple times because I forget specifically the relation, but she's somehow like related to Bruce Lee or something. She's like his granddaughter, and she does a bunch of stunts in movie. I think that's it. I get all my like facts jumbled up in my head all the time. So
yeah. Because when they broke her out of prison, she was wearing the black and yellow jumpsuit, like as a nod to her whatever. Yeah. I remember hearing something.
There is some kind of connection, and I knew it like an hour ago, and I totally forgot.
Interesting.
No,
I thought the rematch was
granddaughter
decent.
or whatever.
Yeah, but she's
maybe.
she's also pretty old. So it's like to sit there and see her do these stunts. It is semi impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
definitely.
I came out liking Morgan in general. I thought she played her character well. She's got the hots for Thrawn. Doesn't want to leave him, but wants to serve him and Dathomir, as we find later. I think she did a good job. It wouldn't surprise me if she's related to Bruce Lee. She was handling
not
herself.
at all. No. Now I have one question. I know you guys are well versed in the Clone Wars like myself, just phenomenal series. And in the Clone Wars, we first meet the Mortis gods, the father, the mother, and the son. Now we get that nice teaser at the end of here where Balon finds their statues carved into the rock there. But right before that, right at around the 36-minute mark, when Ahsoka and Sabine first go back to the tribe of the little turtle dudes there,
the Nodi or the
Nodi,
whatever.
the Nodi. You can see Ahsoka looking off in the distance, and she spots a white owl staring back at her. And it just instantly reminded me of the daughter, because that was, correct me if I'm wrong, that's almost the exact form the daughter took, right? Her animal form?
Yes.
Yeah, and ever since, and it's kind of like a thing that's pretty well known now around the Star Wars fan base or whatever. Yeah, the owl, the Morai, follows her around and is direct, it basically is the daughter. It's her spirit.
That's my question. Do you think this was the actual daughter or maybe just a symbolic representation?
It's like her spirit or her spirit guide or whatever. And remember,
it was like standing in front of that World Between Worlds gate.
It is through the gate. It's in Rebels several times. I think in Clone Wars at the very, very last scene where Darth Vader finds the wreckage of her final battle in Order 66. I believe it flies off at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the her guardian angel, the owl, the Morai, like follows her around and protects her, and it is the sister. And you remember, Ahsoka has like the spirit of the sister in her,
Yeah.
She died, right? And the sister
Yeah.
gave up her life to bring
Which-
Ahsoka back from the dead.
A lot of people are theorizing that, the father had asked Anakin that, I brought you here to test you to make sure you are the chosen one, and you need to replace me to keep the balance in Force, because only you can control my children, the dark and the light. And people are saying, Anakin now fills that role after death that he was invited to, and Ahsoka has the spirit of the daughter in her already. So ultimately, they must be setting these two up to be the new father and daughter, the new Mortis gods. After death, they'll be ascended, like, mythological warriors who get rewarded and turned into a constellation, or whatever. They will ascend. They weren't always gods, they've ascended from mortals into godhood, and then Ahsoka and Anakin are going to be the new daughter and the father. But then,
who's going to be the son?
Story-wise, who would be the son? And it's like everyone wants to see the Star Killer everywhere.
I know.
And he's not like in this, but the good apprentice and the bad apprentice, like, that would make sense. Like Luke and Leia, his actual son and daughter, really don't have a place as, a dark sider and a light sider like that. So, so I don't know who. So, is Balin trying to be the son?
Could it be Balin or even Shin, maybe?
And this picture right here, okay, this entire series we've been following. You guys probably feel the same way. We've been following Balin and Shin. Like, these are the coolest ones. They are the coolest ones. We could jump and forget the entire rest of the episode. We could probably sit here and talk about this picture for the entire show.
Absolutely. It's
all I've been thinking about all week is it right here.
It's the most intriguing part for me. It was the most intriguing part of the Clone Wars too for me. Like, as soon as they introduced these Mortis gods, I was all in. And then when they kind of expand upon it more in the Legends and they tie Abeloth in as the pseudo mother to the family, it's such an interesting story arc.
And then, you add in the stuff from season 6 where Yoda goes on his journey and they talk to Qui-Gon and all this type of stuff. And then
the deleted scene that the son was being manipulated by Darth Revan and Darth Bane the whole time.
It gets into like this whole ancient aliens, like the Anunnaki. Look how much gold is in this, like the whole ancient alien thing. The Anunnaki came to get gold, and they've got ancient aliens who come and build temples and do all this stuff, and like that whole aspect was just like, let's lean. I can tell like these guys have been watching Discovery Channel or History Channel, whatever the hell that's on. And look at this picture right here we've got on the screen. And do you remember in the Mortis arc, what was it, the Well of the Dark Side, or one of those places? They look kind of like, is that it? People is Peridium
that weird energy being emitted that he's he's looking at, that it looks like he's looking at, and it almost looks like that might be the same energy Ahsoka and Sabine see at the end, where they're looking up at that energy just flying up into the sky.
Is the Well of the Dark Side that shit that Abalon drank from or whatever?
That was knowledge.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
In the Clone Wars, Anakin goes down like inside a volcano, and the sun like shows him his future, and he sees himself become Darth Vader. And it was in the Well of the Dark Side. And then later on, the father, he's like, that is forbidden, and he like erases it from his mind or something before he sends him back. But
imagine that. Like, imagine how Anakin would have progressed if the father never erased that memory. If Anakin knew that maybe his fate was going to be Vader one day, could he have possibly have avoided it maybe, or made it happen that much sooner?
I think it has to happen if he's going to balance the Force and become, like, if becoming the father and keeping the, like, he had to learn the dark side and how to control it. Possibly, I don't know. It's like it's all fate and destiny. That's what, like, the owl, the Morai, like, as soon as she saw that owl, she said, okay, we're where we need to be.
Yeah, almost like she's at peace there. And that was one thing, you really don't get this sense of dread, like they're just stranded on this other planet. You almost feel like they're in the spot that they need to be for their story to continue. It didn't really seem like a loss.
Well, there's stuff there to train. Like, she's going to train Sabine efficiently in the Force.
Yeah, Sabine's got the Force now,
Right.
How'd you guys feel about that? Sabine getting the Force like that?
Mixed. Like
I was
It
mixed
like
too.
a
It's
Kevin
not
Smith
Ray.
movie. It didn't feel like a real scene. It felt like a parody of a Star Wars scene. You know, like
Okay.
Maul
Okay.
or whatever.
it's like if you go back before the first episode started, say no, Sabine shouldn't have the Force.
Yeah.
But then they come into like the first episode and the second episode, and you're like, oh, she's a Padawan. I'm like, well, this doesn't make any fucking sense. And I've been arguing with Crazy Matt a little bit about it, and he'll say, well, she shouldn't have the Force. I like the fact that she keeps trying and doesn't have it. And I'm saying, well, that doesn't make sense either. Because why would Ahsoka choose her to be a Padawan if she had no Force potential at all? So it's like,
right.
On the one hand, I'm feeling like, okay, she does have the Force, so that makes the fact that she's her Padawan make sense now. But before the show even started, like that whole concept doesn't make any sense. It's like they're trying to make it make sense. And then, okay, she gets her lightsaber, and then instantly, like that jump at the end was retarded.
Yeah, like the lightsaber grab, I was okay with, but then just going straight to a full-on
She's like,
Force
I have
push
all the
like that.
confidence in the world now, and like we've seen.
It was a double jump. You know, for like a double jump, like a video game.
Yeah, it was. It
like
looked a little weird. It's just.
Go ahead.
No. It was just like her pulling the lightsaber, and that I'm okay with. She was under real duress. If the Force was ever going to manifest in her, it would be in a situation like that where the fight or flight response kicks in. So her grabbing the lightsaber, I was okay with, but then 2 seconds later, the Force push with Ezra, that was a little too much. I mean, it wasn't Rey bad, where she just was this crazy Force wielder out of nowhere. At least Sabine had some semblance of training from Kanan and Ahsoka, but to go just from grabbing a lightsaber to full-on Force pushing Ezra, almost 100 feet, it was a little bit of a stretch, but it seemed like they were going there from the beginning. Right in the first or second episode, you see Sabine trying to like pull the cup towards her, and you had a feeling this is where they were going to end up with her unlocking the Force.
See her trying to move the cup and fail, by the end of the show, she's gonna.
Yeah, you had a feeling this is where they're gonna go.
I mean.
That's the appropriate setup, and then sprinkled throughout, you have like episode 4. Well, there you go. I edited this video so that we don't get copyright struck. So I gave it the George Lucas makeover.
Check it out, special edition with Tubac.
Ready? Go!
This just seems like such an advanced move.
And why did she wait for him to get so low? Why didn't she hit him like right at the top of his arc?
Yeah, she waits for him to start coming down and then lifts him up instead of just using the momentum he already had naturally, which was it was a little weird. It's just.
I mean, I was gonna say there are like certain places in the galaxy within the like Dagobah.
Where the Force Nexus is a little stronger.
Yeah, where it's like a Vergence in the Force or a Nexus or whatever. And this planet here is probably something like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can buy that.
Definitely. So maybe they can be more powerful and more attuned to the Force.
Yeah, like Anakin was crazy powerful on Mortis.
It's just like boom, my lightsaber, struggle. And then just like the confidence she has, she walks up like, I'm fucking super badass girl power now. Boom. It's like, she wasn't even like, I think I can, I will, I'll do, she was like,
yeah, she's convincing Ezra, like, no, I got this, let's go.
My second move ever is going to be this awesome OP freaking move.
It was great. She was like, no, you jump, Ezra.
Didn't Palpatine used to have like this vacation world that was like super powerful with the Force when he went there? Some paradise planet or some shit that looked like beautiful, but like it was like the center of dark side energy or some shit. Like you'd go there and.
Where's Michael T? He could give us the page number of what book this was on that you're talking about.
That's a thing, though, right? It was surrounded by a fleet of Star Destroyers or some shit, right?
Was it in a comic? Biss. BYSS. Biss. Dark Empire.
That sounds right.
2. And he had Cedrus and a bunch of other Darksiders, and they were the ones who had brought his clones, whatever, so that he could reanimate, whatever. And it was way better the first time. Episode 9, what's it? Rise of Skywalker. It was way better the first time when it was called Dark Empire 2.
I just don't know why. I don't understand why Ahsoka's like asking Sabine here right now in this moment.
Yeah. At this point, Ahsoka would have no reason to think Sabine can help in any way. Every attempt that Sabine has made to use the Force, Ahsoka has seen her fail. But maybe it's just Ahsoka is having that undying faith in her Padawan. But yeah, it was a little weird that she's like, yeah, Sabine, help us too. It's like, help what? She doesn't got the Force.
The only time she ever used the Force, and I do think she did, was against Shin in episode 4. There was a Force drum, Mo. It was there. We all heard
the
it.
Force drum. Speaking of nerds, as you can tell, the owl was her sister because it was so strong and independent. No hoots given.
Sabine's like helping.
I gotta keep Mo. I gotta keep up on his chats. Every once in a while, we have to take a little. Oh, look, Neff's here. Welcome, Neff.
So when she was helping, it reminds me of like when my kids help us move something heavy. Like they're not really.
they're not really helping. Yeah, they just got a hand on.
They don't even have their full palms like under the furniture. They're just like got their pinkies and their index fingers.
Here's the Balin. I drew on my notes. This is like my notes for the fucking evening.
Hell yeah.
It looks like him, except his lightsaber looks like a club.
Steve, always the critic. I happen to like it. Thank you, Matthew Fowler. Balin's one of my like new favorite Star Wars characters at this point. We've only had really like 6 solid episodes of the dude.
Yeah, and he's dead. It's like, what the fuck?
It's so tragic, man. It may have been Ray Stevenson's last performance that we ever see him in, and it was one of his best.
Who would you cast to replace him if you had to?
There was some pictures going around on the internet where the people actually look like him, but I can't remember their names.
Well, Crazy Man had a guy from the show, the One Piece show, the live action one. There's a guy with a beard from there, and
I saw that in the Discord. Yeah,
Crazy Man, stop it.
He's not even here, and he's going to argue with you about that. Good job. See,
she never using the Force in the woods. It was a fake out.
No, she flinched because she.
There was the drum. We heard it. The Force drum.
Gary Busey at all this with Gary Busey pick in the chat.
Gary Busey would be a good fit, I think. Yes.
It might work.
Who would play Balin Skull?
Welcome,
that's a tough
Dana
one.
Marie.
Welcome, Dana. Awesome, Dana.
Is that one of your friends, Crackhead?
Yeah,
Jeremy?
Dana is the best. She's awesome.
Cool. Thanks for coming.
Oh, sorry for letting that slip, Mo. Jeez. Oh, I didn't even think when I said it. I'm sorry. Don't punish me later.
I know, like, God dang it, A.
I'm really bringing down the show. I'm 100% with you guys though. Like the Force grab, it was telegraphed from like episode 3 that it was going to happen. It made sense to happen. When it happened, I was actually kind of like, oh, sweet. The Force push at the end. That's something that we've seen like Darth Maul be hesitant about.
Yeah.
Like Darth Maul talking to Ezra has been like, you sure we can do this? And Ezra's like, we practice with Kanan all the time. That's something that Ezra and Kanan had to practice. And I guess Sabine watched. So now she knows.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's bizarre. Force grab
bit of a leap
works.
from one to the other.
It is. A Force grab in like a tight situation. You know, it takes me back to episode 5. Luke's upside down. He's at a concussion, right? He's freezing cold.
Yeah.
It's great. High stakes situation. Works well. The push. Ezra should have thrown Sabine up. And then, I don't know. Maybe
don't Mandalorians have fucking jetpacks? Like, where's her jetpack?
That was one thing I was wondering the whole season too. Where the heck is Sabine's jetpack? It looks like she left it on Lafal, maybe.
Now, could you say, like, okay, a Jedi meditates and connects to the Force oftentimes with his lightsaber through lightsaber training and combat and whatever, and they taught her how to use the dark saber. So could that very practice of sitting there without the Force, but using the saber and learning their moves and their motions of actually maybe like helped attune her into
Definitely.
where she could open up to the Force.
I think so. I definitely think the training that Kanan gave her, particularly with the Darksaber, was, you know, her start on maybe eventually unlocking those Force powers.
My buddy Mike, yeah, he asked me to come over for dinner, but no, I got a show tonight, so I can't. So,
when he's saying I like grapes, is he talking about the Swisher sweet cigars that are
no, he
grape
just
flavored?
says that all the time. He thinks
Ooh,
it's
grape
funny.
swishers. Can't go wrong with grape swishers.
It's Mike's way of saying, I'll support you, buddy, even though I don't get any of this.
He don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So he just writes that, which is cool. Thanks for showing up, Mike.
Well, because there'll be a team that'll develop that's like, yo, man, fuck grapes. And then it'll just become beef.
We'll start Grapegate. Oh. How did you guys feel about the final showdown with Morgan?
Mermaid said that Matt and Steve, one side by side, are very similar, and Matty got offended, turned his fucking camera off.
Yeah.
I want to look like fucking Steve.
I like the music when she turned. They did the like sour, almost out of tune version of the Star Wars theme. I thought that was pretty cool. Her fight with Ahsoka, like I really wasn't like giving a fuck about them rematching. You know, like I didn't like even remember that they fought a first time till
a long while back.
And I was like, oh wait, they fought once. This is a rematch. I'm supposed to like have stakes in this, but you know,
that's what it felt like. That's what they were going for. Like they wanted to have this stake of this is this epic rematch, but it just for me it didn't really land that way. Maybe it was the choreography. For me, the fight scene itself was, I think, some of Ahsoka's worst. This fight scene was being praised online too. Some people were calling this the best lightsaber duel in the history of Star Wars, and I mean, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. It had some good beats in the choreography, but most of it just seemed just mediocre. Nothing special.
The part, okay, we're doing out of order, but that's okay. It's more interesting. Okay, the part when they were coming through the freaking temple right before this, all these guys kept chasing them up the fucking stairs, and they keep slashing them and shooting. And I kept fucking thinking, why don't they cut their legs off? Cut their legs off. Cut their hands off. They can't shoot. Cut their legs off.
Yeah, cut off their freaking head.
Them,
like Ezra does.
Finally. There's just one part where like Ezra like slides up and he's got a perfect opportunity to just cut both the guy's legs off, and he like reaches up and slashes them on the back, and it's like they can't chase you if you cut their legs off. I mean,
am I the only one who thinks that zombie troopers are like a downgrade or like a horrible kind of idea tactically? Like they don't seem to move fast, you know, like 28 Days Later zombies. They're kind of like those goofy, you know,
like they already can't see that good when they're alive in these helmets.
They already shoot horribly. Zombie form.
And the whole time they were running through that temple, I kept thinking this is like the second Ewok movie where they're running away. The Ewoks are running away through that temple.
Yeah.
From the
like if you had a squad of clone troopers, a squad of droids, and a squad of zombie stormtroopers, I feel like the zombies would get bodied. You know, like I don't see them as like useful at all. They can't bite you. They're covered in their armor and shit. Like they don't have any of the zombie, like they're like nerfed zombies. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
They're all covered.
100%.
Maybe
the way
I'm
they should have
berging about it a little and focusing too much when it's supposed to be
Dollar
fun,
General zombies.
Oh, sorry. Tight squeeze. Am I in the way? Ow. Pardon. Don't kick me.
Some of the choreography is bad, man.
Yeah, that right there. We see like one trooper come up to Ahsoka. She like kind of slashes him, and he kind of sort of falls forward. And then you got this other one who has to get slashed to turn around, so then she can kick him. Choreography is awful. I'm with you, Fowler. They're downgraded zombies. You should go one of two ways. Either they're totally nuts, like 28 Days Later, and they're just ravenous beings. But what I think would be better is if like they came in, they got back up, and they were like for the Empire, and they were just as competent as before. But then you realize like, oh crap, the old ways don't work. Like we really have to adjust here and start actually beheading people with our laser swords, which didn't happen but once.
Or like maybe have the witches describe how dope they are as they're kind of rising them up the first time. Like they don't feel pain, they won't stop, you know, like, or you know what I'm saying? Like illustrating.
Make that part of their chant.
Or just like, you know, some kind of build up to them, because like they just kind of get up and start like wandering around and stumbling and shit. It just seemed fucking retarded.
Yeah, they weren't.
It was a little weird.
One of the things that I'd heard is that on set, the people who were in costume didn't know how these zombies were supposed to act, and they weren't given direction. So,
and it almost comes across that way, because at some point they're moving like traditional zombies. At some points they're kind of moving just like they're a little slow, and then later on, when you see them running up the stairs, they're just running absolutely normal again. It was very inconsistent.
The thing that bothered me during that sequence also was the part she's like, shut the doors, and they got zombies coming at them from two directions. Boom, boom, they shut the doors. And then they stand there and have like a 20 or 30 second interaction before they turn around and run up the stairs. And then they get there and they miss the Star Destroyer by about 30 seconds. If their dumbasses wouldn't have been standing there making fucking dumbass comments to each other, they might have made it.
100%. Yeah, they stopped in the hallway to have a little Ezra joke.
and like the zombies are like right here trying to bust these walls down, and you're like pressed for time, and they fucked up.
Speaking about press for time, why are you traveling with the Naughty in your starship?
Why are they right above them? Like that doesn't sound safe, you know? Like
right,
it wasn't even raining or anything, you know. They didn't need shade. Like, why are you right above them like that? And then
it's like when they walked through the desert, you know, with Moses, and the thing dropped manna and fed him every few days. It's like that pillar they followed through the desert.
Yeah, well, they got blasted by two fighters. Steve, how do you feel about the tactical genius of Thrawn in this episode?
Well, I mean, Thrawn calculates pretty good, but one thing he could not he didn't factor in the plot armor strategically, because I'm actually getting tired of seeing this fucking ship crash and get repaired every fucking single episode. And
yeah, it's always getting busted up and repaired. Yeah.
And all of Star Wars, all of it, pretty much all of it. How do you take 12 laser blasts to the outside of your ship and then fix it from the cockpit by hot wiring two wires together? How does that work?
You have to ask Ray. She knows.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, how do you even
bypass the compressor, right?
Yeah, just simply bypass the compressor. You're good to go. It fixes everything.
I did it on my Prius just yesterday. It worked like a charm.
There's two rules in the Star Wars universe: always have the high ground, and always bypass the compressor.
Yeah, this ship. Also, the faces that like Ahsoka and Ezra were giving as they were like looking at their friend who could have been dead, just kind of like, oh no, these are the
well, that sucks.
seen.
What are we gonna get for lunch now?
These people are all kind of like socially awkward with each other. They don't know how to greet each other after 10 years.
Yeah, and I'd love to know what you guys think about this as well. But it seemed like, obviously, they were hyping up the return of Ezra, and then when we finally see him for the first time, I get the sense that they were trying to go for this epic reveal. Here's Ezra, first time you're ever seeing him in live action, and it just did not come across epic at all.
Yeah, on that episode. Yeah, it was like, hey, bro.
It's like, yo, long time no see. Yeah. It didn't feel like a special reunion or anything like that. It was very flat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just make them kiss, Filoni.
And
like show a little emotion. It doesn't even need to be like, oh, now we're shipping them. Just she reacts in the moment. She's like, Ezra, grabs him, smooch, then pull away and like, oh, well, you've changed. I like the beard. Yes, well, I like your hair.
Yeah, something.
But instead they come through like, wow, it's really great to see you here at this 10-year high school reunion that I dragged myself to.
Sorry, man. Sorry, guys. I Mo distracts me sometimes. I don't even listen to what you guys are saying.
It's an exciting day. It's a great panel. You guys are awesome guests.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Where are we at? What are we talking about?
Just the underwhelming reveal of Ezra.
This comment, and I just forgot what we were talking about because I was laughing. Thanks, man. Fucking up my show.
Oh, we got this.
Like he's riding bitch.
I'm saying, Fowler, what the hell? Like, everybody calls this show woke, and I'm like, no, not at all. But then I see this, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Is a little. Why is he on back? I didn't even. He's riding bitch.
Even Ahsoka's looking over, like, why are you riding bitch, man?
And here's the other thing. Okay, he's the superior Jedi. Okay, not just is he the man. Okay, he's the superior Jedi. He's also lived on this fucking planet with these things for 10 fucking years. So why
he's also known? Yeah, he's also known to be like really good at getting like close to animals,
especially
and understanding them.
Yeah, his connections with the Loth wolves and the Loth cats and all of that. He was Ezra always seemed like he was very in tune with not only the Force but nature too. And this Ezra just doesn't come across like that.
No. Sabine comes in. He's like, "You riding a Howley? How'd you do that?" Bro, you've been here 10 years. She knows one word that the thing understands, like hut hut or whatever it is.
Right? Come on.
Oh.
He just didn't seem like Ezra to me. Like, I feel like Ezra was a really great character that was cultivated over those 4 seasons of the Clone Wars. But this dude, this doesn't seem like how Ezra would have progressed 10 years later after being stranded here for so long.
Like, he hits certain points, but the whole greater concept of who he is and what he's doing, it's like, oh, he did the voice right or the look right, whatever. But it's like the whole idea,
the persona isn't right.
Is off.
Yeah.
It's
like, how about this? How about like
Disney? They missed the point of shit.
Yeah, how about somebody being really pissed that this girl who just wanted to see you basically undid your entire sacrifice that lasted for 10 years? You're not going to be a little miffed at her? This guy who like dipped into the dark side? I mean, maybe he's more imbalanced now, but I mean, from the imagery we have of like the sun statue and what's potentially like the pool of knowledge in Abeloth off in the distance, the witches here, there's a lot of dark force energy here that is just waiting to take over this dude. But she comes in, she's bringing Thrawn back into their universe amongst all the people he loves. And he's just like, it's,
I sacrificed everything to get rid of this guy. Yeah. And the first thing he says is, it took you long enough. Like, he was expecting her to show up this whole time. It's like, that doesn't seem like Ezra, something that the Clone Wars Ezra would do. It seems like the Clone Wars Ezra would have reacted much more like what you just said. Like, I'm glad to see you and all, but now you're risking Thrawn being able to go back to the galaxy with all of this newfound power and whatever the hell that cargo is that he has on that Star Destroyer.
So with the witches returning to Dathomir, you think we'll get a new Darth Maul species kind of character?
Like another Zabrak? Possibly.
Yeah, or his brother or him, like another that same type of guy.
Another Savage Opress, maybe?
Something to fill that kind of need, where we got a million Boba Fett's. Let's get another Darth Maul kind of in there.
Yeah, it definitely could happen. They've got Zabrak in the games, the newer Jedi ones. And I forget that takes place like episode 4 to 5, I think.
They've got a checklist. They got fake Yoda, fake Boba Fett, fake IG-88. Now they got to have, they need a fake Lando. They kind of have fake Lando and fake Han in that movie.
I think Winter Soldier would be a great Luke if they just let him take over the role too.
Yeah, the fan base has wanted him to play young Luke for a long time. Sebastian Stan.
Yeah. He. I feel like he's the right age for a post Return of the Jedi era Luke, you know, like,
yeah.
I mean, but let's be honest, man, if fucking they did deep fakes, Mark Hamill, I'd watch every episode of it. That's all I really want to see out of Star Wars is Return of the Jedi Luke going around doing shit.
Okay, so you start out with this, with A New Hope, and you've got Alec Guinness, and then you've got Darth Vader, who's played over the course of 6 movies by like Jake Lloyd, Hayden Christensen, David Prowse, James Earl Jones, Sebastian Shaw. You got like 5 people playing one guy, and you've got the original, you know, Obi-Wan Kenobi recast as Ewan McGregor, perfectly fine. Like, does anyone have a problem with the character being recast who, you know, from a movie 30 years ago that has a sequel or something? Like, what is this big hang up about not recasting? Like,
I think a recast is okay as long as they get the right person. I think the Solo recasting was absolutely abysmal.
It wasn't that good, was it?
He didn't seem anything like Han Solo, and maybe just because maybe it's one of those roles that it's just so iconic that anytime anyone other than Harrison rolls in the role, it's going to look a little weird. And maybe Luke is a similar character as well. Maybe these characters are just a little too iconic for anyone to really fill those shoes. But if you find the right actor, I think they could pull it off.
The chick from Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown, would be perfect for Leia.
Like a young Leia?
Yeah, dude. I think her and Sebastian would doing the Luke and Leia roles would work. I mean,
which one did a good job, Mo? David Prowse or James Earl Jones?
What's Mo saying?
He says only one of the 5 guys who played Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader did a good job.
James Earl Jones, probably. I liked Hayden too. Hayden's kind of grown on me, you know.
Yeah, Hayden's grown on me over the years.
Yeah, I tried to explain to some people, like, if you listen to the way Anakin talks in Episode 2, and you imagine, like, when you see Darth Vader in Cloud City fighting Luke, all that stuff he's saying as he's walking around Cloud City fighting Luke. Imagine that in Hayden's voice. It sounds just fucking like him. Like, he nailed it. He talks like how Darth Vader talks. He just has like a whiny voice. But if you listen to like the cadence, the way he phrases the sentences and where he takes his pauses and everything, he talks like Darth Vader. The corny shit he says, Darth Vader says shit like that too.
That's true. Darth Vader is a corny mofo. Like, careful not to choke on your ambitions, director. Like, really, dude?
That's Disney Darth Vader, so you can't, like, count
I
that.
find your lack of faith concerning.
Yeah, disturbing.
That's disturbing. Sorry. Ooh, jeez. I better go to Star Wars jail. Okay.
Crazy. He's not afraid.
Welcome, my screen.
Jake Lloyd,
controversial things.
That role destroyed that kid for
kid,
so
right?
many years. Like, that kid caught so much flack after that movie aired. He ended up becoming an alcoholic and shit. He stopped acting. That role destroyed that kid.
Yo, what if the voice that's calling out to Balin is Jar Jar? Darth Jar Jar. You's a walking to the mountains, I see, and shit. It's just like,
Misha need a ride.
There's more to some gods. You see? You walk them that way, mister. Long Otello.
All right, Fowler, this is a perfect segue into, you know how I've encountered the most knowledgeable Star Wars expert on all of the Earth? No. It's because I like Star Wars since I was a little kid. Did you know that me and you are the same age?
They're 50 years old.
Steve is a world-famous Star Wars collector and toy dealer. You may remember him from Trader's World Flea Market or seen rare items from his collection in the famous book Tom Art's Guide to Worldwide Star Wars Collectibles, second edition. Here he is, Steve, that Star Wars boy, the most knowledgeable Star Wars expert on all of the Earth.
Hello. Welcome to another exciting and informative episode of Ask Steve, That Star Wars Boy, starring me, Steve, That Star Wars Boy, the most knowledgeable Star Wars expert on all of the Earth, where real Star Wars fans like you ask me, Steve, that Star Wars boy, the most knowledgeable Star Wars expert on all of the Earth, real Star Wars questions. Now today, Furious George 345 asks, Dear Steve, so this Jar Jar being a shitlord, what's that Bantha Puda all about?
This is very, very bad. Oh, go.
Well, Furious George 345, I've heard it said that there is no such thing as stupid questions, but that is not true. Next up, we have a very important question on our Holo Video hotline. Is the caller there?
Yeah, this question for Steve, that Star Wars boy from Stormtrooper UL532. Some of the boys and I were curious. I'm asking him, man, just a minute. We were curious if you're watching the last episode of the new Star Wars show. Does our Imperial life insurance policy pay out to our families if we are raised from the dead by Dark Sister Green Mist magic? Thanks, I'll move along. Move along. Sorry, we'll take our answer off the air.
Well, UL532, that is a very important question. I am glad you asked. A life insurance policy is a contract to a certain sum of money on the death of a person in consideration of the certain annuity for his life calculated according to the probable duration of life. The death of a person makes him dead, but Night Sister magic makes Night Troopers undead. Un means not, so that means you are not dead, and therefore not eligible for death benefits. I hope these answers have helped to increase your knowledge and understanding of the vast Star Wars galaxy and helped you plan for the future of your loved ones in the event of a tragic loss. Thanks for joining me for this exciting and informative episode of Ask Steve, That Star Wars Boy, where real Star Wars fans like you ask me, Steve, That Star Wars Boy, the most knowledgeable Star Wars expert on all of the Earth, real Star Wars questions. See you next time. Send your real Star Wars questions to me, Steve, that Star Wars boy. And if I answer your question live on the show, you will receive a free 2024 Steve, that Star Wars boy calendar PDF file.
Do Steve. Do. Why don't you just go be with your best friend, Steve?
Is that a Garfunkel and Oates sample for the fucking?
It's off some weird,
brilliant.
It's off some weird
brilliant.
song I found on YouTube. Thanks. I hope that answers your Jar Jar question as well, Maddie. I forget what it was, but that just
Mo's in the chat saying we're twins. Like I could be your stunt double for the Steve videos. I'll have to film a couple and just pretend. Yeah. I got to get the angle. I'm the best Star Wars in the entire.
Well, my camera has a clip. It clips right up on the top of my screen here. And I figure that's better than being down that way, because then if I have boogers, it won't be shining up my nose. Yeah, my camera put a lot of work into that.
So I'm notorious for liking almost everything Star Wars except Last Jedi, right? And I think Ahsoka, I still like it, even though it's like it's getting real close to being like She-Ra. Remember when He-Man was like taking over with She-Ra?
Yeah.
And fucking, you kind of liked Hordak because he looked dope, and fucking, you just kind of felt like you were riding a girl's bike, you know, like, but watch it. I don't know if people even ride bikes anymore, but girls' bikes have like this bar that goes down low.
Yeah, for your dress.
Which is weird because dudes have dicks to hit on the bar, so why don't dudes have the low bar? But that's a different topic. Either way, this Star Wars feels like riding your sister's bike. It's still fun to ride the bike, but it's kind of gay, you know?
Yeah,
like
not as good as it could be. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if they would have stuck the landing a little bit better, I think Ahsoka would have been looked at as a little bit with a little more fondness as a whole. That last episode really threw a lot of people off. I think just it was a lot of nonsensical stuff thrown in there. The zombie troopers were just never should have been in there in the first place. I feel like if they would have stuck the landing a little bit better, maybe overall it would have been, received a little better. But I think Balon was the saving grace of the show.
Maybe there was more parts of Balon, and since he died,
Balon and his club
like,
sword.
you know what I mean? Like, whatever they were going to do with him, maybe the plans that they had are now up in the air, and there was another 2 or 3 minutes worth of him, and they just cut it out because they're like, we don't know if we're going to continue with this now or change the plans, or I mean, he didn't even say a word. It's like the whole film.
I'm going into this finale for Balon. Yeah, like I'm going into this finale when I'm going to watch it. I'm like, okay,
all I wanted to
cannot wait to see Balon. Yes, that's the only thing I wanted to see. What is Balon? What is calling out to Balon? What is he going to discover on this planet? And then all we get is one 10-second shot of him on a mountaintop. No dialogue, no nothing. It was super anticlimactic.
And it was still the coolest part of the whole episode.
It was still the best part. Yeah.
I like Shin taking over the what are they?
The Raiders
Scavengers or Raiders? Yeah, that was kind of dope.
Yeah, it looked like Shin was trying to find where she belonged, and you kind of see even Balon kind of telling her your ambition only takes you in one direction, and it seems like that at the end there, that's kind of just Shin maybe looking for a place to belong.
Well, she's gone from trying to be the leader of a galaxy to being the leader of a junk pile or whatever. So she's probably actually going to learn some good lessons or whatever, humility and hubris and all that shit or whatever, and come out as like a pretty solid Jedi.
I was expecting her to probably go back and look for Balin, but then when you see her pull up on the Raider camp there, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, she becomes queen of the naughty orcs.
Well, I kind of saw her. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I love it, and that's it.
I did it right.
All right. The clip came on. I thought it was good. I was going to say she kind of is filling that role of Mara Jade, right?
Yeah, that's been the big theory. Yeah. People have been pointing that out, that she's got a lot of parallels to Mara Jade's character.
Being the former Imperial Emperor's hand, who ends up as Luke Skywalker's wife, going from bad to good. So it's like they're just, if it is, then they're showing the bad part right now. But they are trying to like emulate the entire Heir to the Empire novel in a lot of ways. So
yeah,
but she's not redheaded.
No.
So she's not.
Well, if she's going to turn to the light side, she needs a soul, Steve. So.
Oh.
That was awful. I'm sorry.
That explains
it. I'd be glad they would have replaced her if she was a redhead anyway. We would have got.
Yeah.
Lenny Kravitz
keep
redheads around. If she was redheaded, she'd be black without red hair. Okay. Mo doesn't like her. You don't like her haircut, Mo?
Keep this up for Mo.
How do you not want to fix her and just like hang out with her all the time, man?
Yeah, I liked Shin. I thought Shin was a pretty more decent character than most of the cast, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely. She's like
now,
kind
how
of
do
like
you
a diehard.
Yeah. How do you guys think season 2 will play out if you do get it? You think it'll pick up right where this left off? You think they'll get a little bit of a time jump and they'll have to maybe fill in the gaps as to what happened with Balon? Will Balon and Ahsoka maybe meet up? Like, how do you guys see season 2 starting? Right where it leaves off, or are they going to jump?
At least a small time gap, where we show up, where Dathomir, whatever's going on there, is a little bit underway, and Ahsoka and Sabine are like living comfortably with these naughty or whatever they're doing, and Shin here is like established as the leader and has like one of these guys who's like her right-hand man in power over the rest of them, and has some kind of plan, or and then whatever with Balon, they're gonna have to like hold that off as much as they can, just because that's like, they're dangling that in front of us, and they don't want to dump all that or whatever. But they need to like immediately address more of this. Like, they've left us on this cliffhanger, and when you come back on the first episode,
a literal cliffhanger, like he's on a cliff.
Like,
so do you think they'll probably like move the story forward with the people who are in this galaxy in like the next Mandalorian or Skeleton Crew, whatever the next TV show is?
If I wait a year and a half or whatever for this next season, or wherever they decide to continue this particular story arc, and we get, like, say we get Ahsoka season 2, and I sit there and I watch 2 episodes and they don't have him in it or anything about it, I'm gonna be freaking pissed and saying this show sucks, because all I want to know is about this guy and these statues and the gods and whatever. And I've already seen Thrawn fight the galaxy and lose, like, in the EU, and it's like, watching that whole thing is just like, is it the same? Is it different? This part's the same. This part's different. They did this part different and it's good. They did this part different and it sucks. And this is like a new storyline here with Balon.
Yeah.
Balon. You guys say Balon. Is that how we're supposed to say it?
Balon.
Okay. Leia, Han.
Here's the thing. However George Lucas pronounce it the opposite way. The guy's been saying Count Dooku for years. Ain't nobody calling him that. Yeah, I want to see Balon continue, but it's going to be really tough without Ray Stevenson. In my ideal world, these stories are now split. So Ahsoka comes back for season 2, but it's just Ahsoka, Sabine, Ezra Hera, Thrawn, Dathomir. Balon, ideally, again, we take him into like a limited animated series.
That's what I was going to ask, is how you guys would feel about like a Tales from the Jedi sort of situation with Balon, since he's dead in real life.
I like it.
I'd be all for it. I think that's the ideal. That's the ideal position to me. You can do a lot more with animation without it looking like goofy. Like the Clone Wars, we had Jedi fighting in space, and it wasn't really a problem. But Ahsoka has Ahsoka in space, and it's like
it
just have a goofy look.
Right.
Yeah.
Some things just don't look good in live action. You're right, absolutely. And I feel like Balon Skull, the character of Balon Skull, like the only part of the reason why it was so good was because of Ray Stevenson's performance. So recasting to fill those shoes is going to be incredibly difficult. So yeah, animation and animated route might be a better option.
Okay, leave that up for a minute. All I want to know is about these statues. Steve, did you ever foresee yourself holding on to such an unstable branch daily from the cliff of Star Wars fandom? It's like,
fuck you, Mo.
At least
we're allowed to tell the customers to fuck off now, aren't we? Like, that's like the new thing.
Oh, yeah, that's what I know.
Yeah, the customer isn't always right. That's the 2023 rule, I guess.
Oh yeah, gotta burn
it's
it.
not a customer movement.
Nope,
Understand
not
that
anymore.
No. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Like, why is the sister or the
Her
daughter
head's
rather
blown
missing?
off.
Her head's blown off.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
What does that say about like the early presence on this planet? The Zepho involvement, obviously, and then the interlopers who came after, which would be the Great Mothers, obviously, who clearly don't like the daughter. And
Zepho are those big-headed alien-looking things, right?
Yes.
Like, kind of like black eyes. I want to say like grays a little bit, but
they got kind of like weird sort of flattish heads that are kind of broad. At least from what I've seen. I don't know. A lot of the Zepho stuff's like in the games.
They look kind of like the Independence Day aliens, like inside the shit a little bit.
Yes.
Yes. The barbarians that Shin took over, a lot of them have these helmets, and they've got these real long things that come out of the side, and those are like Zepho heads, which made me think That's why those guys have those. And the fact that we see these guys here, the father and the son, doesn't negate the possibility of the Zepho still being involved, because all of their scripts and subplots or whatever have also, like, they could be the ones who built these statues and possibly worship them or something. There's still a lot of stuff, like, they're not out of the off the table yet, I don't think. It's being connected to some of this, but
yeah, there's
just ancient alien theorists.
Yeah, there's too much like explicit Zepho mention in the show for them not to be important later on. And plus you have like the burial ground of a very important like Zepho Sith Lord when like full dark side. He's on Dathomir. That's his burial ground. So
I heard there's text like in the architecture. There's Zepho glyphs.
Yeah.
Yes. Written that
people have gone through. They've decoded the map at the end. It tells all the planets on the map in the end credits, and then they've gone through and found phrases in the runes, the cuneiform, you know, all the whatever they are in the background of all the temples. And one of them said something about all praise. What was his name? Ape Kujit, who was like a Zepho lord or something.
Yes.
And previously they had in the Bad Batch show where they had just uncovered a Zepho weapon, that episode with Wanda Sykes. Remember Fowler? And
yeah,
you know, it's like these are both Filoni's things, and you know, let's drop a little Easter egg thing over here to set this up or whatever. So I don't know. They could still possibly be involved in that. What do we have here?
Don't have to be.
Is this a new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not really a new one.
Okay.
It was the same stuff. You know, we got Thrawning. We've got all of these guys, which, I mean, this is, to me, it's just a massive undead army. I mean, that's what they've got these like little light indicators on for.
I called that early too, for the record. Remember, guys, in the chat or whatever, the group chat said that the cargo was zombies.
Yeah, what exactly is the cargo? That's what I've been wondering. Zombies, though, that's interesting.
I mean, is it an army or is it like a repopulation? You know,
I always thought my first thing was like it
theories.
was some kind of natural resource that maybe he found specific to that planet that he was going to utilize for something else. But I like the zombie idea.
Is it gold? Look at all the gold. There's got to be something going on with the gold. Like, this planet has tons of gold. They prepared their Star Destroyers and their armor out of gold as if it's just like aluminum or something. It has like, there's such an abundance of it, it has no value. Or is it the only metal they can find or whatever? You know what I mean? But look at the gold everywhere.
Is it some sort of maybe kyber crystal replacement, you know, material they can use in weapons of some sort? There is gold on everything, though. I noticed dude's face is gold, like all the little accents on
Look, even the bridge of the Star Destroyer, the whole front of it has gold on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can use it, you can see it used to prepare the thrusters too, like all the way at the beginning.
Yeah, you just skip by one real quick. Yeah, gold. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
That Temple Star Destroyer set piece was so fucking awesome, man. I love that. Was one of the coolest fucking places, though.
Yeah,
inside,
I love the way that
of the tower.
Yeah, I love that. It's this meeting of this highly technologically advanced civilization with this ancient, like, druidic one, and it meets perfectly with this imagery, which is very sexual, actually. I don't know if
I'd say it's like Dune. It feels almost more like Dune than Star Wars. In this
yes,
yeah,
a lot of Peridia,
merging of old and new tech. Yeah,
a lot of Peridia is like that. It's a lot of Dune and a lot of Lord of the Rings, from like the statuary and like old civilizations. Filoni likes his movies. You know,
even the name of the show was like Narnia. What was the name? The
Lion Witch in the Wardrobe title or whatever.
Yeah, it was the Jedi,
looking droid.
The Jedi, the Witch, and the something. Yeah.
The Warlord.
Jedi, the Witch, and
The
the
Warlord. There it is.
Jedi Witch and the Warlord. Yeah, I don't know where Narnia quite fits into this series.
Just that it's one of those classic things that Filoni just lumps in with Lord of the Rings, and so let's mine this for ideas to turn into Star Wars.
And Sabine
things.
is Pan.
Never
mind. It was bad joke. Crickets out.
I don't know. Crickets. Nobody got it. I will say, looking back at this picture, the one problem I really had with this episode was when Thrawn's like, okay, bring down the Eye of Sion out of orbit so that we can dock. And I'm like, okay, I would think you'd want to go out into space away from the people on the ground. But then I'm looking at this picture here. If you look over to the left, there's a lot of damage that's been done here. So yeah. I think I just solved one of the inconsistencies I had with this particular episode. It doesn't look like this thing's
that good.
No, it's not capable of breaching orbit. You know,
like where were they?
At the I kind of see scorch marks on the thruster down there, like blaster marks underneath the rear thruster.
Yeah, it looks super beat up.
Where was he? When they first arrived there. And they were talking to the witches. They're like, "Oh, Thrawn will be here in a minute or whatever." And Sabine was in the cell. Remember, they made this whole entrance where his Star Destroyer raised up. It's like, well, where did he just come from if you can't go into space? He was just on the other side of the planet or parked down here or what? It's like these, you know what I mean? They oh, this will look cool. And Disney Star Wars are like, this will look cool. And then later on, you're like, oh, wait, that didn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. Why is Thrawn on the other side of this planet if Ezra's just 5 miles away by Howley? Why is he so close? Here's another thing. Because I was hearing about some behind the scenes jibber jabber. Apparently, there were some cutscenes of Ezra talking about his time on Peridia, which would have been helpful. Yes. I would have liked to see some of that. But he talked about this sort of temporary truce that he had with Thrawn, where he was like, you've only got so much manpower. I'm a Jedi. Let's not exhaust each other. But then at some point, Thrawn found the temple and he awoke the Great Mothers. And that's when things kind of turned sour and Ezra had to change tactics. Now, knowing that, doesn't that help to kind of color the story up a little bit? Because I feel like that should have been included. I needed to get more from Ezra. And all I've got is that he's been hanging out with the crab people. And I guess just waiting for somebody to come by. And he's not at all pissed that Thrawn has left.
So the whole time they made this journey in the Star Destroyer originally with the Purgles, Ezra and Thrawn are on this same Star Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
So what? As soon was he hiding in a stormtrooper costume like he always does, or what? That's kind of a long trip, and did he make that trip both ways like this, or what? Come on. So the minute he gets back to the galaxy, he splits and goes back to the Rebels. Well, what did he do here? The minute he gets to this planet, he split, or was he hanging out with them for a minute, or
you know what's going to piss me off?
Or what,
was there some sort of uneasy alliance right when they first crashed there so they could survive together that ended up going sour, kind of like you said, Abe? They should have explored a little bit more of the backstory, at least how exactly we got to this spot where Ezra is hiding among these, Na'vi people, almost kind of in hiding, and Thrawn has all these resources.
We know their relationship, that he's bad and he's good, and they know each other, and they fought, and their actions made them both end up here. And we don't know in this whole time, what is their relationship now, here? They don't really. It's just he's out there, but whatever. But first of all, we got to say thank you, Mo, for this wonderful comment. But I see right through you, man. You're Instead of yelling at him, you're going to change tactics. Try to
Yeah,
butter me up.
some reverse psychology from Mo. I don't trust it.
So we stopped talking about Ahsoka. Is that it? Let's move on to the prequels.
No,
Yeah,
we're glad you're
I
here,
think
Mo. You know that.
worst case scenario, we're going to get the explanation for those 10 years in a book. Best case scenario, we might get it
probably
in
most likely. I think.
Dude, that's what happens with everything. The Holdo maneuver.
Yep.
They had to make like a book
God,
just to
I
explain
know.
like her. Oh, it has this new adaptive like shield around it that when you go to a certain speed, it's like, dude,
it's
what are you?
They made up this whole alien species. I made a video about this like a year ago. I forget. There was something like there's this ancient alien species that taught them how to make.
And they're alien.
Hyperspace. Yeah, they've been into ancient aliens. I think that's where they get all their inspiration. And I've been watching it too. And dude, I'm telling you, I've been watching this stuff, and I'm sitting here saying, this is where they're getting all their freaking ideas from. Even George Lucas.
That's their
like,
writer's room. They watch a season of Ancient Aliens.
But George Lucas was like into anthropology, so he went and like got a lot of his ideas out of ancient texts and mythology and different cultures and whatever. And that show Ancient Aliens kind of is like cliff notes for all that shit with like spaceships in it. So today's writer, they're like, oh fuck going and reading, Gilgamesh and the Iliad and all, fuck, let's just watch Ancient Aliens. Cool, that would make a great episode. I think that's what they do, honestly.
Nothing would surprise me.
Well, all this shit in this whole entire series is directly out of fucking like any single 3 episodes of Ancient Aliens. A lot of it's pretty cool, though. I mean,
so what's your favorite Star Wars lightsaber fight? Out of any? I'll go first. Mine's the Palpatine versus Darth Maul and his brother.
Oh,
that's good. Oh, we're talking live action and animation.
We're going into
both?
Clone Wars. It's the one.
Yeah. Fuck live action. Everybody be like dual fates, or whatever.
It's one that has Dooku, Maul. Or no, Maul's not. It's Dooku, Savage Opress, Asajj Ventress, Obi-Wan, and Anakin. 5-way. That's the coolest one in the Clone Wars.
Sounds like a jet ride with Nev.
All right. Where are we at? Did Abe leave?
Yeah, Abe left. Look at the private jet.
Oh,
okay. It's like all of a sudden our show's dead air. It's like, oh, okay, Abe's not here.
Thank goodness you told them. I was saying earlier to Steve.
I was trying to figure out how. I was trying to figure out how to look
know when I go pee.
Oh, okay. Okay, I figured it out now. I'm just like 2 minutes too late. All right, my bad.
Yeah, the Palpatine versus Maul and Savage Opress fight is very, very cool.
That's a good one, yeah.
That Dooku one, yeah, where like it doesn't Asajj Ventress like sneak up on him in the night, catch him in his jammies, and he has to like wake up and fight her, and then these other Night Sisters
are with her, yeah, and they're like in that cloak where they're invisible. They just look like mist.
Now it's not my favorite, but one of my favorites is actually in this show, Baylan versus Ahsoka. I love that.
That was
fight.
good. Yeah, that was a good one.
The first time or the second time when she steals his wolf horse?
I like the first one a little better.
Oh, I said which Baylan versus Ahsoka fight? The first one or the second one?
Yeah, the first one in episode 4, like pushes her off the cliff and everything. You can see a lot of his power. He gives out this like big yell in the middle of a strike, and it's just, I mean, it's a lot of it's Ray Stevenson because, Rodas, she's a bit stiff in the sword
fight. He gets
fights.
that high ground in that one. That's pretty cool.
That's true. That's worked in every situation except for Obi-Wan versus Maul, because Maul totally had the high ground that one time and it did not work out.
Oh yeah.
How did that not work out for him? And if that's the lesson of the whole thing, why did the first episode show it not working out? That's weird.
That's a very good point. I don't know. Well, while we think of the next topic to talk about, we do have a sponsor now.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
We got to make some money here. So.
Yes, we do. So we'd like to show you a word from our recent sponsor. It's not this guy. That's okay. I'll stop here. It's a live show, folks. Let's get rid of Jeremy.
Oh, okay, my bad, Jeremy. I thought that. Okay, is it this one?
There you go.
Looking for a haircut to wow your local crime lord? Something to impress daddy and that rogue scoundrel in your life? Well, look no further than Saber Cuts. Trusted by Imperials and Rebel scum alike, you'll love the look of your new do more than a Death Star hitting Jakku.
Oh, I need a new stylus. You're hired.
Pondo Baba gives it one thumb up. Tion Madone says, "The hell are you asking me for?" But wait. Enter promo code Steve, that Star Wars boy, the most knowledgeable Star Wars expert on all the earth, at checkout for half off your first haircut. That's right, half off. Don't sacrifice style because you're living in denial. Call today and schedule your appointment at Saber Cuts. Call 1-800-BLUE-MILK to schedule an appointment. That is 1-800-BLUMILK.
Thank you.
What'd I do? Sorry, Jeremy, I did that twice. Sorry, and I thought your thing was the other thing. All right. To make up that, we'll send you a coupon for a free Saber Cuts haircut.
Much appreciated.
I can see why Jeremy keeps leaving.
I'm surprised he's still here.
Jeremy's just trying to give an Irish goodbye. I'm gone now.
The box was right there, and I was going to click it, but you closed it, and right when you closed it, so that moved Jeremy's over one, and right when I clicked, it was like chunk, and then I clicked. The first time I did it just because I'm stupid, but the second time, that's what happened.
Yes.
Yeah, they are kind of choreographed. Kiwi.
Sabine was kind of salty that she didn't know how to make a lightsaber. I could tell she was getting jealous of Ezra when he was putting together that shit like nothing.
Yeah.
A little fit, like Ahsoka never taught me how to build a lightsaber.
That scene, the part that was kind of weird is the droid. Okay, it's a droid, but you notice it. He said my master was Kanan, and he says, "Oh, Caleb," but then he'll continue talking, and then the droid says Kanan, and then Caleb, and he was like switching back, where it seemed like that's odd for a droid to refer to him differently.
Maybe the droid was trying to get across to Ezra that he knew Kanan.
Like he did. He was like,
Caleb.
he was like, oh, I knew him, Caleb. And then he went back to calling him Kanan after that. So I don't know. I noticed it. I'm not saying it was, terrible or anything, but I was like, that's kind of weird. And then what is that piece? He's like, I had 2 of these. It's like, well, what the fuck is it? And why did you have 2 of them?
Well,
like,
he had
there's
one
10,000 Jedi. And he's like, oh, he's just like out junk collecting one day. And he's like, oh, this looks neat. I'll keep 2 of them.
Yeah, that'll make a good blade of it. Let me hold on to that.
Yeah, what the hell is that? Who would make something that polished and precise? And there's only 2 of them, and he's just hanging on to one. I don't know. Seems pretty weird.
And the Kyber crystal that Ezra used to make the lightsaber.
You see this Fowler? Like,
Maddie Steve Padawan, an identical grandson. Did we look that similar?
Well, if I had some hair left, I might look more.
I need a killer, long hair.
Going to show you your future. I think it's.
Oh yeah, wait. Let me do the Balin, look into the future for a minute, stare out. Yeah.
Oh,
perfect.
I've seen things, man. I become Steve, so I'm gonna go walk off this statue cliff, man.
Yeah, the emitter scene was weird. Why keep a second one? But also, so he knows that Caleb is Kanan because he hears Kanan. He's like, oh, okay, cool, Caleb. But then he doesn't know that Ezra was taught by Kanan. So, like, at what point?
Quite add up.
No. At what point does Hu Yang's knowledge of Kanan drop off? Because Kanan is a post Order 66 name.
Okay.
And he's kind of operating in the shadows for a long time before he decides to like rack up with Hera.
Well, we've seen Ahsoka chasing down Morgan since Mando season 2 or whatever, and apparently she's been riding around with this droid for the majority of that time, and they just went on like an extended journey to another galaxy inside of a space whale's mouth. And why is there one freaking detail about this dude that Ahsoka and Huyang haven't had a full conversation? Like, oh, we just happen to be riding in a space whale to another galaxy. Who are we going to see, Ahsoka? Oh, his name's Ezra. Let me tell you all about it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. And it doesn't even have to be discussed in the Purgle mouths. Like, why are we getting the map again? Because Thrawn might be there as well as Ezra. Who's Ezra? Literally.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the whole amount of time for him not to know that Kanan was his master, that's retarded.
Right, and that's one of the weaknesses of this show is like Filoni's writing. Because I forget that Filoni really isn't credited with writing too much in the Clone Wars. He wrote like 4 episodes in season 7, which were really good. But like in the original series, he was more like a consultant sort of vibe, I think I got from him. But there's another conversation that happened here that should have happened much earlier. And it's a conversation that Ezra has with Huyang about Sabine and why Ahsoka abandoned her. So he tells her that Ahsoka basically thought Sabine, if she got power, she would turn to the dark side because of the way that the Empire basically just glazed Mandalore, right? They just ruined the planet. Okay, that would have been great to know in episode 3 or even episode 2. It should have been a conversation.
So long a little bit here, Michael T. We needed you like an hour ago, and you weren't here. So let us know.
You'll like this episode. We're just yelling at the show right now.
What do we need him for? We were asking about
some kind
Palpatine's vacation planet.
Palpatine's vacation planet. That's exactly.
Oh yeah, I think it was Biss. I think we figured it out without you. See, we don't. Thanks for coming. See, I was busy. Sure you were. I'm sure it was way more important than our show.
I'm just saying, like, episode 2, Hera should have been like, why'd they even split? And then just have a little bit about Ahsoka, because that sets her up for her vision quest in episode 4. And that sets her up for her forgiveness of Sabine in episode... I mean, I guess she forgives her in this episode, right? She basically says it's all cool.
But, like, that was, like, with all the other stuff that they're keeping for us, or like, you know, let's foreshadow this and actually do this, and let's string this out for 8 episodes. Like that wasn't that. They should have just said that at the beginning, and it would save this whole entire, like, everybody has doubted, not just like in world, like, you know, can Ahsoka be a Jedi, but like the whole audience has just doubted the entire credibility of this entire storyline of her being Ahsoka's Padawan and having the Force, and it's been so questionable and controversial. They should have addressed all that shit early fucking on, instead of like making us wait till the very last episode just to find out, not that she actually does have power, but even why Ahsoka doesn't train her.
Yes.
And, you know, I mean, they just like 8 episodes we just watched. We still don't know anything about Baylan. We just now found out a little bit about Sabine, and it's like, tell us what the fuck's going on sometimes. You know, they don't tell us everything, but it's like, tell it in order so that we understand it the first time we watch it instead of the second time we watch it.
Exactly, because what the audience is doing is filling the show up with their own headcanon,
Yeah.
And when it turns
And
out
you're
like
left
that's
to
not
wonder
correct.
what happened
And
between
then
the
you're
two of them.
pissed. Yeah,
Well,
because
establishing the stakes was always a problem with this show because
Yes.
don't nobody know who the fuck Thrawn is to
Yep.
even be threatened by him, and they didn't demonstrate Thrawn's power in any way, shape, or form than him being the like, oh, I meant to do that strategy guy a few times.
they had all the women going, "Oh my God, Thrawn is going to return! Oh my God, Thrawn is going to return!" And so
Yeah, it's like they try to present him as this shadowy figure that they're supposed to be afraid of, but none of them have any kind of context to be afraid of him.
Mm-hmm. And even the Imperials are like, Thrawn will return and all our problems will be solved. And then Mon Mothma and Hera are like, oh my God, if Thrawn shows up, we're doomed. And then we go and see Thrawn and he's like, we lost again, but really we won. That is an acceptable loss. And it's like, you can't even beat 3 Jedi or whatever. Like, come on. He keeps
Thrawn
losing according to plan.
Yes.
Winning would be even better, though. You're right. Yes.
Thrawn would lose his queen in chess and be like, well,
I meant to do that.
I meant to do this. Excellent.
It's all part of the plan.
We only needed to buy 15 minutes of time. It's a victory.
And how did you guys think about the live action casting of Thrawn? Now, obviously, it's the same actor who voiced him, but love the voice too, don't get me wrong. But how did you guys think he looked overall as Thrawn?
His look was less, like his performance was great. Like his acting chops and his voice.
Off the
and
charts.
any shot from like here up. Yeah, but like the way he looked, he's a little, you know, you can
The pot
you can
belly,
write
the
that.
pot belly
yeah,
was
I
funny.
mean, you can
Yeah, a
kinda
little bit of a
write
pot
that
belly he
into the
had, yeah.
story somehow, but it goes against his character because he's like
It just
a
didn't look like the
perfectionist. Yeah.
tacticial, you know, the genius tactician Thrawn that we got in Rebels. It didn't
Who's a
look like that.
perfectionist in every way, including his own physical fitness.
He was always thinking 10
Probably.
steps ahead.
But that ancient temple is built right on top of this great bakery that has these wonderful buttery croissants. And Thrawn just can't.
Or
just
Thrawn
can't be
to
without
love.
him. More Thrawn to love, exactly. I'll tell you what I think, Jeremy. I think his voice is weak, and he should have been Jason Isaacs from the beginning.
Jason Isaacs probably wouldn't have been bad.
Mm.
No, I like the voice. I feel like that was one thing I really liked in Rebels was the voice of Thrawn, but sometimes voice actors just don't translate to live action.
Yeah. I thought his facial expressions were on point though. Like there are these like little curls of his mouth and furrowing of the brows that he does. His face has got it going on, but there's just I don't know. Yeah, the belly
Ever
is.
since I saw that meme of the Grand Admiral Musk, all I can think of is Elon every time I see him now.
He does look exactly like that big body Elon picture, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know, but I don't know the fights in this. I'll watch Star Wars and be okay if I can get through the fights and they're all nice and tied up. But along with the tactical stuff, all this stuff blowing up around everybody, these awkward zombie fights, and I mean even going forward to like Ahsoka and Morgan, all these troopers like standing around her. What the hell are they doing? What is this? Why aren't you shooting?
It's just there's a lot of nonsensical choreographing, not only just in the fights, but yes, in the actual behavior of the stormtroopers.
Like they never level set with these guys. They never sat them all down and were like, you're going to act in this way.
Yeah.
Waiting for turns. Yes.
Exactly, Kiwi. It's almost like they're just waiting for their turn to get slashed with a lightsaber. That's pretty much it. Or shot with a blaster.
Yeah, for real. I don't know. I was disappointed, but it kind of made me think of this, Steve. If you've got, you want to show this little video here?
What the fuck?
All just waiting their turn.
What the fuck?
That's order 69.
That's
You know what the
messed
great
up.
thing about doing a scene like this with stormtroopers, though? They all miss. So cleanup's pretty easy.
Yeah, who got good aim?
Yeah, who posted that it was like Padme and then Padme, and it was like before Stormtrooper Bukaki, after Stormtrooper Bukaki.
Jeez.
It's like the same clean face. Like and they all missed. It's fucking funny.
Oh
Nah,
shit.
just
It's unfair
it's
to
unfair
judge
to
Lars'
judge.
physique for the role. He was shooting the upcoming Porkins series at the same time. Cut the guy, some slack. He's filming Porkins.
Shoot! We should talk about that movie that's on your hat, Steve. I think that would probably be better for
I
the
don't even
channel.
like it that much.
Like
Like the first one was cool. It had dinosaurs. You know what was cool about it? Because it was like when was that? 92 or 93?
yeah.
What was cool about Jurassic Park is because if you were following like Star Wars and Lucasfilm, you kept hearing George Lucas say stuff like, well, once I can get this new technology to the point where I'm happy with it, we're going to redo Star Wars. So the coolest thing about Jurassic Park is sitting there watching it going, oh, we're getting close to where George Lucas is going to want to make Star Wars again. That was what was really cool about it.
Yeah,
For me.
that was imagine.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, it's all good.
I thought it was a still. I didn't know it was a video. Okay.
I'm just randomly putting stuff in here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I think like how different the world would be if Jurassic Park was not made the way it was, because it was going to be like full on Phil Tippett stop motion.
There was this
And then-
movie called Baby, like back in the 80s, and it was like the story was that they found some dinosaurs in the middle of the Congo or something, and the mom or dad was dead, and so they had to go in there and rescue the baby, and they did this entire movie with these like fake. It was the most crap. Like look it up on the internet, but some baby about dinosaurs, crappiest looking dinosaur you've ever seen on TV or in a movie.
Bro, I saw that baby
ever.
movie in the theater when it
So
came
did
out,
I.
dude. Those rubber ass brontosauruses looking fucking fake as shit.
Yeah, I was like, that's what Jurassic Park would have looked like without CGI.
Probably, but I mean, it was a real game changer. That like go motion that they used. You know, all the blur effects. It still holds up. I look at that T-Rex and I'm like, that's pretty good. That's
Well, shit, remember how Yoda looked in the first version of The Phantom Menace? How hideous that
terrible.
freaking puppet was?
He looked like
Oh
a
my
crackhead Yoda.
He
Like,
had
It was
hair.
crackhead Yoda, yeah.
Yeah. It looked weird.
meth
Oh,
pipe
man.
you share with me, yes? Pass the meth, yes.
Another rock I will smoke.
Bogart, you not.
I've been hoping Corey would show up. I've been holding out. I made this video specifically for him, and he's not here. But you know what? That's his
It's his loss, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show it. Check this guy. Check this out, guys. Hold on.
It's very hot. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Oh, nothing, honey.
That's like the most degenerate shit I've ever made.
Oh man, yeah. Sorry, Corey. Catch it on the replay.
I
guess.
know. It's like I just looked up. I'm like, man, we've been here
Yeah,
like
as
2
soon as you
hours. I
lose,
better
Corey.
go ahead and play this before everyone decides to go home.
It's the only reason we're keeping the show going. Corey, please come in.
I know.
You know who won that bikini contest?
Which one?
The chat.
Our audience, yes.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
us.
The chat.
We won.
Yeah. The chat won.
Trying to get hired. Will B-Rose hire me to make Twi'lek softcore porn?
I don't know. You might want to check his internet search history first, Steve, before you agree to
Depends
any
on where he's
contracts.
going with Cerebrum too, I suppose.
I prefer my Twi'leks to have like chokers and leashes. You know.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I like that one dancing one in Jabba's
like-
palace.
Yeah, well, she had to choke her. She was at the beach party with her choker. But
The one that's
The blue one?
resisting like the whole time. She's my favorite.
you don't want me to have to play that again, do you?
Play it again. Why not?
The chain yanker, whatever her name was.
Hot.
Chain yanker.
So sit back and enjoy the show.
That's Hera. The one in the middle. See, look, that's Ula. She has her choker. See? See it? That's it. God damn it.
Enhance.
Hold on.
Enhance.
See it right there?
Hera's got cakes in this season. That's for
Oh.
sure, man.
For sure. Holy cow.
This is degenerate. Let's get rid of it. Thank you first. That's my finest work ever. If I fail at this YouTube channel and at my comic and my action figures and everything we have planned in the future, I've figured I could like just make Twi'lek porn for Deviant Art. I have a whole new
calendars for
career,
days.
yeah. So it's like it's taking a little bit of a burden off. Like, oh, okay, I have a backup plan. I'm gonna be okay.
Fowler, if you ever hear Steve say, sorry, I'm a little booked, you know what's going on. Oh, man. Oh, Michael T coming in with the facts. Her name was Ula, played by Femi Taylor.
Yeah,
Fun fact. When GL did the special edition of Return of the Jedi, she was still in shape 20 years later and shot all of her. Wow.
Yep, that's true. She
That-
was the same chick in '97. Is this from
That's
our own
crazy.
channel war?
Black
I
don't
think
crack.
I remember
That's what they
something
say.
about folder 6.
Folder 6, it's that one folder we could not find.
Okay, yeah.
Remember? I still got that video here from Folder 6.
Is this
You guys were mentioning
okay. You keep doing that. Whenever you add or take a file away, it goes into that spot where Jeremy's at.
Oh shit. Okay.
I believe in a renewable energy future. I believe that humanity must become a multi-planetary space-faring civilization. Those seem like exciting goals, don't they?
Yeah, I think Elon would have been perfect for the part. I don't know. Got the look.
Is
Let's
there
go to
anything
space.
left on this show you guys want to talk about before we just devolve into even more nonsense? Or did we cover everything?
Let's see. Well, there's the Gift of Shadows. I don't think we even touched that for a second.
Do you want to? Or
Steve's like, I don't give a fuck.
Like we talked about the statues and Balin and the world between worlds, Mortis shit or whatever it was, and I really didn't really care that much about it. Oh, I give it.
Oh, I
a
remember.
C.
What about Force Ghost Anakin's fucking having
at
the
the
wrong
end.
robes? Did that piss everybody else off or whatever? Heard people
no,
bitching about that
because,
shit.
I saw a video on that earlier, and I came to my own conclusion: is if you were a ghost, you would project yourself to, or be seen by, the way that person would interpret. And Anakin appearing to Luke wearing Jedi robes is because that's all Luke knows. Is he knows Obi-Wan was a Jedi Master, and that's how he dressed. To where Ahsoka would recognize him from his Clone Wars clothes. Luke wouldn't. See, I made that up.
Yeah, but Ahsoka didn't see him. He's like off there, like observing her, right? So.
Oh, at that part, yeah, he was in his like prequel robes, wasn't he?
I got the image right here.
Okay, that helps a lot.
Force
Yeah,
Ghost
see,
Anakin. Yeah, it looked like Revenge of the Sith type.
Yeah, he's wearing his dark black stuff. When he appeared to Luke, he was wearing like the normal Jedi robes that
It was
he
more
never
like
ever even
white
wore
than
in the
the robe.
prequels. Yeah,
the-
it was like the Mace Windu, Obi-Wan type style. Which movie? Oh, in Return of the Jedi at the end, where they put him in. Okay, yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Luke knew Vader as a burnt thumb.
Yeah, no, he did. The old white dude with the bald head.
Oh, here it is. The secret link. If any of you guys want to get the 5th action figure to your Tiger Blue collection, it's only on the secret tier. So go buy them because I got a bunch of them I want to sell.
You absolutely should. I really, Fowler, we don't have to shill forever, but I do want to say I really appreciate and admire these like secret tiers you've got. I've got the Sega Genesis, the Game Boy, and the Super Nintendo cases. Each of these have fooled my kid, so he really wants to play Tiger Blue. But beyond that, like these toys that Steve makes, these card backs are really badass. What's the idea behind this newest iteration?
So the story goes back to Chicago, and he's fighting these two gods from Chinese mythology. One of them's a bull. So I was thinking of the Chicago Bulls. And as far as the video game consoles go, it was time to move to PlayStation. So we went with the Jordan Chicago colors, the black and red, and did the "You Are Not Ready" like old PlayStation ad campaign from '95. That was just the "You Are Not Ready," and it was just like a red E that they used to show. So I figured I'd do the all red sketch cover, the all red PlayStation game, and then Steve made the red and black Tiger Blue variant with a all red packaging. So it just looks real simple and clean and just kind of limited. And I don't know, I really like it though.
There's the card down there in the corner for the toy. You can see them on there. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
I don't know how to make it bigger.
Cool, man. It's great.
Yeah.
And biggin. Hold on. Whoa. There we go.
We try to help each other, and we always fuck it up.
I figure like, I'm broke and can't afford any variant covers this time, so why not do a blank one? Because fucking those are real popular. I've seen like blank Spawn comics and Batman shit, and I guess they're real rare. If you have to, with local comic shops, they have to order like several hundred books to get one of the blank ones, So figured you guys might like that. And then instead of the Tom DuBois box art, like in the PlayStation era, they started doing those real simple box arts that were just like, words or logos or whatever. So I used that trademark kanji I bought from that Japanese artist. They got all mad.
I put that in the intro because I thought that. I said, fucking Fowler paid for this. I'm going to stick it on here.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, I certify that, Steve. I did pay for that shit. Fuck it. Like, put it on that shit.
That's what I was like, we're going to put this fucking thing everywhere.
Yeah.
This is great though, because this is actually like in between Tiger Blue 1 and 2, right? Like Tiger Blue 2 is like a couple years in the future.
Yeah, Tiger Blue 2 takes place in 1945 in the middle of World War II, and Tiger Blue 1 is in 1935, and this one, Tiger Blue 3, takes place in 1935 too. It takes place like immediately after Tiger Blue 2 or Tiger Blue, the first one.
Okay.
Because see, Tiger Blue 2 wasn't really supposed to be Tiger Blue 2. It's just supposed to be like a bunch of supplementals or single bonus issues from different campaigns. But Jose just is like, oh, I can draw all that right now if you need me to. It's like, oh, let me think about. Oh, you're done. Okay.
Yeah, right now he meant like right now. I
Right
can
now,
go
by
at
you mean
right
you mean
now.
by tomorrow?
Like, yeah.
Right.
Jose's got a crazy work ethic, man.
Yeah, the
He
guy's
really does.
insane. He's next level.
Those are some fun stories too, man. Narwhals was nuts. It was like it reminded me in part of like Let the Right One In, but it was a lot lighter too in a way. I don't know.
I think my cue for him was I want Home Alone meets Rear Window.
Okay.
Alfred Hitchcock one.
Okay, so you have the prestige of Hitchcock with like 90s slapstick. I love it.
Yep.
That's great.
And we had set it up in Clint's issue was like, yo, you can do whatever you want. It's just you got to have these two kids race, and one of the kids has to break his leg, so he's stuck in the mansion for narwhals. But like I gave each of the writers like just these two prompts, like where you have to kind of start and where you got to end up by the end of the issue, just so to pass it off to the next guy.
Let them do their thing with the rest. That's
pretty
what's
much.
up.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun.
And I picked each of those writers specifically because they'd worked on those characters before, like Clint Stoker worked on Silver Streak Speedster book, and his stories about the Silver Streak sidekick, and Vaughn did Terror in the Trenches, and his stories about Kid Terror and that type of thing, so it wasn't totally random. I was kind of like trying to keep it in their universe of public domain stuff they'd already worked on, kind of like a backdoor way of having a shared universe without having to really legally have a shared universe or technically have a shared universe, or, since it's the public domain characters, everybody can continue their own stories if they want to. Like, it's just like a sort of secret like hack or trick to do a shared
kind
universe.
of like you've seen where people try to do a whole universe at once, like the Marvel New Universe or Dark Horse's superhero, whatever.
Or DC.
Yeah, and they like, let's drop an entire universe. No, it's like you got to start with stuff and build
into
up to, or you can't just drop a whole universe. So like hitting into that where the public, it's like a lot of the universe is already there, so you don't have to,
And we escalated every issue too. So like Tiger Blue 1 is kind of like these enhanced martial artists, animal people, and then book 2, the power levels are up because we're dealing with monsters and werewolves and mummies and Draculas, and then on the villain side, and then on the hero side we've got the super powered level, speedsters, super strength, that type of thing. And then the third book we up it and do gods, like demigods or Asian gods, whatever they're called from the Chinese mythology stuff. So each time it's kind of upping the stakes a little bit, upping the power levels in a true anime fashion, I guess you'd say.
Right, where Tiger Blue starts off and he's already kind of powerful enough. He's fighting people who are on his level, and then he just like descends into hell, fights deities, then takes on superhumans. I like it, man. I like the thought you put into all of these stories in Tiger Blue 2. Tiger Blue 1 was a hell of an experience. It was wild. Just huge pages with Jose's brilliant art. I don't know. I'm really looking forward to 3. I always like a a book where somebody goes to hell. That's just me. Getting them to fight out of it, that sounds great. And the versatility of Tiger Blue as a character is great because you can, like you said, you can have him like kind of backdoored into all these universes. You got Blue Balls, where you have this character Sully like hanging out with them, but it kind of works. They
got a Tom and Jerry kind of vibe, Sully and Tiger.
For real. Yeah.
Visually, they look good together when they team up. And Sully's so raw dog, old dirty bastard type, and Tiger definitely is like the straight man to that wildness. So yeah, I like that pair together. It's fucking uncanny, like how well those two jive.
Yeah, really. And man, Rich is just killing it on the pages. I've got that one page with
I got one too. You can see it right there.
Oh, damn. Nice.
I star in the book. Stars me and D-Wag. We're the main characters. See us.
You're my 3PO and R2D2.
Are we on more than that one page?
Oh yeah, you guys intro the
for
whole
real?
book and no
Oh.
man, fuck
I
that. It's a
thought it was-
cameo, bro.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought that's just a cameo. Okay.
Intro the whole book.
I was like, you wouldn't waste all those pages on our dumbasses. I hope. I made it into the embrace. Me and D-Wag and crazy. It's like, I don't know. I'm a comic book character now and a YouTube star. Cool on
And
me.
a degenerate.
And a degenerate fluid pornography bikini show producer. Like
And you can get like access to Steve, that degenerate Star Wars boy, through our Discord invite. If you're not part of our Discord, I'd highly recommend it.
You should be
Yeah,
over there.
get in that Discord.
You
Definitely.
can ask us questions and I might answer them.
Might.
If he can log in. We can log
I
into
forget.
Discord.
I always forget we have a Discord and Crazy Mad's like, oh, what are we playing here?
This invite today to join the Blue Milk Social Discord with Steve, that Star Wars boy, the most knowledgeable Star Wars expert on all the earth, along with Arrogant Hate and Crazy Mad. There you can talk about all things Star Wars. The original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, the Christmas special, the Ewok films, the Ewok show, the droid show. Talk about the droids, definitely. Clone Wars, Rebels, Andor. We can talk about Rogue One. We're not touching the sequels. Boba Fett can go fuck itself. Mandalorians on occasion, yes. Did I mention the Clone Wars? Accept the invite today.
Yes, absolutely. Join the Discord. I saw Kiwi Skirt. She's already lined up a question for you.
Oh, I
Steve.
saw that earlier. I was like, oh, should we answer it live on air or wait till next week? I will save it for next week.
Kiwi deserves a video. Let's give her a video.
Yeah.
And speaking of next week, Perth says, is Blue Milk Social on a break until new Star Wars?
It's about,
Jeez,
it's about right, man. I read them when I remember, which is only part of the time. There's time I forget.
Yeah, what is up with next week? Are you guys gone or what? Or what's
you
happening?
see these retarded videos that we sprinkled in here? I guess next week we'll just have to do a bunch of retarded videos and talk about some old Star Wars show or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys gotta keep
show.
this show going. It's too good to stop now. You
It's
guys got
really
to
that
keep this
good,
going.
man. Thanks, man. People say that, but every week, man, when it ends, I'm like, man, that was a shit show.
I say the same thing, man. I know it's until you run a show every week. You know how it feels now. It's
This one
it's
feels like
weird,
it's-
man. You always feel like you're bombing.
This one
At
feels
least
like it's
I do.
going
I
good,
always
which has me worried because I'm, you know, I'm like, oh,
every time I end a stream, I think, oh man, I just bombed. That's just one of those feelings I think a lot of hosts get.
I think the next episode, we have to have a fight with the chat, Steve. You and me against Crazy Mad in the chat, talking about the prequels and how great they
Okay.
are.
Mo.
Where do you guys stand on prequels? You guys are prequel haters, or you guys like the prequels?
I like them. I mean, I hate like certain parts of the special edition and the prequels that are like objectively bad, but like overall, and especially now when you have the sequel, okay, give people what they asked for. Oh, the prequels had too much politics, but okay, take all that out and look at the shit show they gave you with the sequel that don't even make any sense. So you need some politics or whatever, but you can say like the acting, you know, or the director. You can nitpick the prequels as much as you want, but in the end of the day, the story of the overall Star Wars saga is greatly enhanced by the inclusion of the prequels, and especially the Clone Wars, which also enhance. Like the prequels are great if you would go like watch episode 1 and 2, and then just sit down and watch the entire Clone Wars series, and then watch episode 3 and 4, and watch it all like sequentially, and it's a damn masterpiece. All of it.
I heard you're supposed to start with,
you know what I mean? The pieces might not be as great, but as the whole,
yeah. No, the Clone Wars made the prequels much better, and they definitely have aged a little well over time. Like Perth was saying, they've aged well in comparison. I agree there.
I hear you're supposed to watch episode 4 first, and then Empire Strikes Back, and then after you get the father cliffhanger shit, then go back to episode 2 and 3 like a
if
flashback.
you're like 40 and like people our age think, oh, we gotta impose this experience that we had on our 10-year-old kids by making them watch Machete Order so that they don't lose this ultimate reveal.
Machete Order, that's the name of it.
Of Darth Vader revealing he's Luke's father. It's like, well, imagine watching them in order. Like, we lose out on the experience of learning that Darth Vader, Anakin turns Darth Vader. That's got to be much more of a epic reveal than him telling Luke that he's his father. Is that
like if you didn't watch the original trilogy first and you watch the prequels first, and that's how you find out.
Like, this is the correct way to watch, because that's how we saw it or whatever. But imagine watching it episode 1 through 6, and how would it play out? And it would, you know,
and then you probably be harder New Hope already knowing Vader's Luke's father.
To get into it is deep. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anything about Star Wars. I watched episode 1 and 2, and like, So it's like watching the end might get you to be a Star Wars fan more, and then when you go back and appreciate those possibilities.
No, it could be an interesting way to experience it.
You know,
I think they should watch the Christmas special first.
The Christmas special only. That's it. You're done.
Technically not.
You get all the Star Wars you need right there.
It's the holiday special.
The holiday special.
Life Day or Crack Day, as we use it, and it is.
I think our version was far superior, or your version.
Yeah,
far
it
superior.
is almost November. We're about a month away. We are going to make the 3rd annual Crack Pack Holiday Special.
Nice.
Felix has already been helping out, sending some videos our way, and it's going to be dope as usual.
Is that
like,
Rebel
literally dope?
Is that Rebel Moon movie coming out this year?
I saw some guys reviewing that. Yeah. And I also saw some trailer the other day for something called The Creator by the makers of Rogue
I'm hearing
One.
The Creator's good. Everybody that I talked to that watched it liked it a lot. So it's getting some good reviews so far.
And that's by Garth Ennis or something, the Rogue One guy.
Yeah.
Is that who made it? Yeah.
I'm still bummed they pushed back Dune Part 2.
Oh, man. Don't even get me started on that.
Writer's Strike? Was that a Writer's Strike?
That was the original. That seems to be the original reason, but who knows, really, at the end of the day. I think they were anticipating it lasting a little bit longer.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know. After the trailers, I was kind of broken up because I was like, man, this looks really good.
Man. Sucks.
I don't know.
Sucks.
What's it woke? Is it woke?
Oh no! I just saw a cool looking trailer on YouTube. It was like 30 seconds long or a minute. So I don't have any.
I want to see that new Scorsese movie coming out soon. Killers of the Flower Moon or some shit with
with
DiCaprio and De Niro. Yeah. Scorsese never misses for me.
Unlike a stormtrooper.
Casino is a longer, more boring version of Goodfellas. Slight miss. Still cool, but not the masterpiece that, you know what I mean? That
Blasphemy,
Goodfellas
Steve.
was.
That is blasphemy.
I'm saying Goodfellas is better than Casino.
The Irishman was kind of bad.
The Irishman dude,
was
Robert De Niro tried to have an action scene. He's
Oh
like,
my god, when he
old
tries
as
to
fuck.
kick that dude.
Yeah, dude.
How about when he
You can
goes
just,
to
like,
throw all
see
those
how
guns?
old he is. Yeah.
How about when he tries to throw all those guns over that bridge? He can't even lift his arms up to his shoulders. Just like flapping them over.
Oh man, yeah, shit. I try to erase The Irishman from memory because it is probably Scorsese's worst movie.
I don't understand it. I don't know.
Mo marathoned the first half hour of Dune.
It's a long one, but can you imagine if they tried to do what they did back in like the 70s or 80s, like try to fit the full book into one movie?
Oh
yeah.
They cut it off at a pretty good point as far as like,
The
films
one they
Yeah,
made
the way
on
that
the
first Dune book is
Sci-Fi
set up.
Channel was pretty good.
Yeah, the way that first Dune book is set up, that's a good spot for them to end that first movie.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this next one will be, the rest of that first book, and then boom, they can go on to the next.
Exactly, because there's like a time jump, if I remember correctly, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's perfect. It works really well. I don't know. I'm bummed I
Yeah, I
can't see
loved
it
that
sooner.
first Dune. I thought it was great. One of the best movies I've seen in a while.
Oh yeah, it reinvigorated my my faith in modern film.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't earn a lot of money, I don't think. I don't know.
I think Blade Runner 2049 renewed my faith in modern film.
Well, same director.
Yeah,
I
that's why I
haven't seen
mentioned it. That's it.
Okay. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, he's just an incredibly, the cinematography that he could, gets through on his movies. Everything is just, it always looks so grand and elegant, and the score on Dune was probably one of the best parts of the movie. They had just phenomenal music.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad he's in charge of it.
Villeneuve?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah.
Yeah. Denis Villeneuve.
Well, Biggs says my favorite thing about time jumps is they never take you out of the story at all. That's true.
Yeah, House of the Dragon received a lot of that in season 1 with all the time jumps, which was understandable.
Man, I hated that. I just got to like those fucking the actress, the little blonde chick, and then they fucking switched
And
to
then
that old cunty
that's
one.
what a lot of people's were, because you spend a few episodes with these actors and actresses, and as soon as you start to get used to them in the role, boom, they get swapped out again. So that was a little bit of a complaint from a lot of people with season 1. But no more time jumps on House of the Dragon from season 2 on, though. It'll be much more linear.
Michael T, is Fast X the one where they go to space?
Oh god, that's right. I forgot they really go to space in one of those Fast and the Furious movies. Like that fucking franchise went off the rails. Holy cow!
That was the first Fast and Furious movie I ever seen. I saw that
Like
in
the
theaters.
Elon Musk car, like they go to space. Like that.
Yeah.
It's like in
Remember
Heavy
that
Metal,
convertible with the astronaut?
where that car.
Yeah, Vin Diesel driving in space.
Can we? I gotta Google that, man. That's real.
It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Just when you think Fast and the Furious can't get any crazier, they up the ante.
Yeah. I saw that movie and then I was like, okay, I got to see the first one. Those films they're not just in the same, they're not in the same franchise.
No, it's two totally different franchises. Exactly. It's just, how did we get from here to here?
Yes, exactly. Michael T, you're probably right. I think it is 9. I don't think I saw X because I saw 9 and then I saw 1 and I was like, these guys are stealing what, DVD players?
How do you okay, Michael T. Okay, no, it's the newest one. The space one is 8 or 9. Okay, now this makes me wonder. if the space what the fuck do you do in Fast after you go to space?
Yeah, how do you top that?
Like-
What are you gonna do to fucking go to Mars next?
What?
No, hell. You go to hell.
like 10, they Dom and whatever, they go down to hell. They take
Goes to hell
Satan
and
and
meets Tiger
nuts,
Blue.
and they get back.
He gets a ride home.
Yeah, they go down to hell and they fucking challenge Satan to a drag race.
They run him over, and then they still get back on Earth in time to win the cannonball run. And it's like, what the fuck, you know?
Perth's got a great idea. Hollow Earth. Like they meet King Kong in the center of the earth.
And Brendan Fraser.
They go into Hollow Earth. And like, remember in like Circus of the Stars, and it would like this dome would come up, and Scott Baio would ride his motorcycle all the way around it. Like they could do that inside the Earth, the Hollow Earth.
Oh, man. Oh, that'd be some funny shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, what a freaking franchise, man. Shit.
For real. I don't know. Like, we're going to start stealing digital disc readers, but someday, guys, we'll go to space.
Oh, shit.
Bro, I watched the last Fast and the Furious movie, and I have like zero memory of it.
I can't even remember the last one I saw. I know I missed at least the last two or so, I think, but I can't even remember the last one
I think
I
I
actually
tapped
watched.
out around like 3 or 4.
I feel like The Rock was there. And
I think
Jason
Hobbs
Statham
and Shaw was
there.
the last one I watched, the Jason Statham and Rock spin-off one. I think that's the last one I've seen.
And I feel like John Cena was there with like a kid in a car or something. I don't know. I don't remember space though. Like I definitely don't remember them going to space.
I remember the poster and the trailer of them going to space, but I never watched that thing. I mean, it's obvious before you watch it. Like this.
The next
not
step
worth
is clearly
watching.
to drive in the mouths of Purgles across the galaxy.
That'd be cool. Like a Purgle flies by, and then they like jump off a ramp.
That's too
right in his
fast, too
mouth.
furious, too far, far away. Like that's what that last one is called.
In a fast and furious galaxy, far, far away.
Oh shit! You guys ready to
Yeah.
end this thing? We're talking about.
That would be great. Like Fast and the Furious 11 is actually Star Wars 11.
Oh, could be like
Episode 11. That's what they
everything
call that shit.
Yeah, just 11. And
See Dom pull up the
part
Coruscant
11
on a speeder.
Every trilogy in Hollywood. Every franchise.
He pulls up in that land speeder from fucking New Hope. You know that little hoopty.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, Ahsoka, I'll give it as a whole probably a 5 out of 10, maybe 6 out of 10, considering Rey's performance overall. Love to see where they go with him, but unfortunately, he's no longer with us.
Yeah, I'd call it like a B, because certain parts were like a C minus and a couple parts were like an A. So I'll give it like a B, somewhere in a B.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's like a, I don't know. It's a C range because like there's a lot of interesting stuff that's introduced. Balin, great performance and great character. You've got the Zepho, you've got the Witches of Dath. I always love seeing the Witches of Dathomir. And I, for the most part, I really like their stuff. But they're
the witches look good.
Yes, the Gift of Shadows, that was pretty cool. I don't know why Mother Talzin doesn't have the dark eyes that Morgan does, but whatever. I wonder, like, the Blade of Talzin, is it Mother Talzin's, or is like Talzin a family name in the Witches?
That's what I was wondering too.
I think it's her same sword.
It's her same sword? Okay.
That's what I was wondering, yeah. Is it hers,
There's
or is
cool
that like
stuff
a
like
family
that.
name?
Yeah, there's cool stuff like that, but then there's just poor directing and poor writing that's making me like make these reaches and go like, no, maybe this is what it is, and it's like, well, it's not explicitly what it is, so
You start
that's
trying
where
to
it came, bro.
excuse bad writing.
Yeah, the
because
show
you're trying
makes-
to connect these dots in a
The show
logical
makes
way.
awesome tautological sense if you watch it and make up a bunch of shit.
I'd place it just above Phantom Menace for me. had enough good to outweigh
Above
the good
Phantom Menace.
that I liked in Phantom Menace. Yeah. Because the only thing I like
Okay.
about Phantom Menace is the pod racing and the fucking Duel of the Fates. I kind of don't like the rest of that movie. And out of this whole series, I like the fucking battle with her and Balin, you know, the first one where he gets the higher ground and shit.
Yeah.
And I really liked there's some other shit I liked about this series. Oh, Shin. I'm in love with Shin. She's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You love
That
her or you
and
like love her?
no, like she's bae, as the kids say. Like she's
hottie.
She's a bae or whatever, right? But yeah, I'd say I liked all the echoes they did in it. You know, the far, far away, or the fucking like this is supposed to feel like Empire when they're hiding out here and waiting for, you know, like all those little throwbacks. I was juiced about in this one. So yeah, like I'd say I rate it just above Phantom Menace, way above Boba Fett, you know, but it's not reaching those Empire levels or those, you know, Rogue One or Andor. It's not anywhere near those heights. In my stack of Star Wars tier list or whatever.
Out of all the Star Wars.
Oh, the Anakin shit was good. I loved seeing Hayden Christensen back.
was good.
His fight with Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds was
that wasn't
really
bad.
sick lightsaber fight. You know, I was down with it.
I was a little nervous about the World Between Worlds, how it was going to look in live action, how they were going to pull it off, but they pulled it off surprisingly okay.
Young Ahsoka was really good. That actress that
Young Ahsoka was great.
She was better than Rosario Dawson.
Young Ahsoka was so great, way better than Rosario Dawson. It actually felt much more like the Ahsoka character, so much that I would watch a live action version.
That's what we were saying that week on this show. After that came out, we were just like, why don't they just make that the show and do the Clone Wars?
Give me that, yes. Give me a nice height of the Clone Wars type stuff. There's so much of the Clone Wars that they still haven't covered. Yeah, give me that show.
And even Anakin kind of joked about Rosario looking old and busted. You know, he's like, "You look old," right? Like, so the show was kind of aware of her, like, you know, oldness. I guess, you know, they weren't trying to like play it off like it did.
Reminds me. This show reminds me, like I've read up until 2012 and a little bit past. I'd read every Star Wars EU novel ever published. And some of them, I would pick up and just consume them straight through. Yeah. Some of them I'd be like this is a chore to get through. And then there'd be these other ones that have like an A plot and a B plot. And it's like one of them is really awesome. And then the other one
you struggle to get through.
Yeah, and you're just like trying to get back. Can we get back to that other plot? Like I'm almost like skimming, like
this was like this at times with the Balin scenes being like the good one. Yeah,
the rest
you're right,
of
man.
it just being like, can I skip a couple pages ahead?
Yeah,
or whatever, you know. And it was just like, not that it's bad, or that it's written bad or filmed bad, or that it's that there's any. It's just like it's so much less interesting that it's just become a distraction to what I really wanted to see. To where they're like, "What'd you think of this scene or that?" And honestly, I was just waiting for it to end because I was hoping to get back to this other part. Like,
it's a lot of pausing, a lot of turns on heels, like a lot of back and forth. Welcome, Sark, and welcome back, Mermaid.
Yeah, we're getting ready to end here soon, I think.
Yeah, we're giving our final reviews.
Final reviews. This not Andor. It's not Rogue One. It's not the best that Disney's had. It's certainly not the worst. It's a lot of mediocre. It's one of those things, like if I describe the story to somebody and just summed up all the good parts, somebody would be like, "This is dope." But then you'd watch it and you go, "That was kind of a slog." And there are points where the show stops and it really doesn't need to. I don't know. Yeah. I'm bothered.
What's your rating, though?
Mine? I don't gatekeep your Amber Heard jokes specifically. Let me find. I'm gonna find it now. Just to shit. Is it this one? Smeagol? No. I don't even think you made. Okay, here it is. You call this show a bee, Amber. Her dog steps on better bees than this show.
That was worth reading. That was pretty good.
I'd say it's a solid C. You know, if I were to grade it.
I would put it there too, Fowler. Like it didn't anger me like Obi-Wan and Boba Fett. It was just kind of disappointing at times, but there's a lot of cool stuff that could be explored. I don't know.
It was cool enough to keep watching and had enough cool parts and enough things to make you wonder about and speculate about. That I got to hang out with some of my good friends all week for like 7 weeks in a row talking about Star Wars without ever mentioning woke bullshit or what, but actually like back in the old days when I used to hang out in the flea market, there'd be a couple guys that would come out and buy comic books and whatever, and they just hang out there and we'd just talk about Star Wars. And it was fun. Like, what do we think is going to happen in the new movie? Or did you read this book or check out this new figure? And it's like here for like 5 years, all we've been doing is saying Star Wars sucks. Well, which is still, pretty much mostly true. But it's like here and there, they get, just to get a little bit of cool stuff where we can like hang out and be positive and have fun and enjoy something instead of just hanging out bitching and moaning about what we hate. And you know what I'm saying? Just feels good to actually, to actually like something a little bit, to have something that's like, it doesn't hate us and we don't have to hate it. And it may not have been the greatest thing around, but at least it was like it was at least trying,
It wasn't blatantly offensive like you said, Abe, like Boba Fett was.
That thing just made me mad.
it may have been a little bit the Force's female-ish, but it wasn't like actively angry or hating the fans like some of this other Star Wars stuff that's been coming out recently.
And like I said, I've been reading the X-Men and things like I have no problem with a sexy chick coming out and kicking some dude in the head, if she's like hot, like does anyone not like Psylocke?
Oh yeah, I like me some Psylocke.
You know what I'm saying? That don't make you you can have hot and powerful girls or whatever. It's just like they're not out there every time they kick someone going, I don't need no man. You take, if they're just like chicks who have powers and fight, like I don't have any problem with it.
Yeah, a good character is a good character as long as they're written well, male, female. It's look at some of the biggest action stars of movie history, like Ellen Ripley and Sarah Connor, all these badass characters. Plenty of good ways to do good female characters. You just have to write them competent.
Would you say that most of the female characters were written competently in the show?
Competent. Sabine at times was a little, maybe with the exception of Sabine,
And it wasn't like her character, her attitude, or like she's supposed to be like a little bit like alternative punk rock or whatever, with like her purple
she's also
hair
supposed to be that badass Mandalorian side too, and that just did not come across with this actress.
But it's like
I almost forgot she was a Mandalorian at times.
They didn't know what, like she kept like flip flopping back or whatever. Like I don't know.
I think the most difficult characters to get right were the ones that were pre-established, right? Whereas like you have somebody like Shin.
You got this preconceived notion of what they are. You've seen them in 4+ seasons of Rebels. It's it's hard to live up to that to get it right.
Yeah, and Hera's actress, I slowly warmed up to her. I thought she actually did like better as the show progressed.
I liked Hera, yeah.
We missed you, Crazy. Sorry, man.
Now she's married to Obi-Wan, right? Like that's how she got the job.
In real life,
yeah.
So while I feel that there might have been nepotism, it actually kind of worked out because she did okay. She did a pretty good job. Yeah. But then you have like Shin's actress who clearly loves the character, gushes about her, talks about like how Shin's like an Arctic fox looks straight at its prey as it strafes around to try to get to it. It's the women were written pretty well. It seems Morgan I thought was a hit. She reminds me of like an evil stepmother Disney like villain mixed with Maleficent, you know.
Yeah.
But she's also got like the classic tragic Star Wars villain.
She might have died, but she could come back through Night Sister magic anyway, right? Like that's like a common thing. So
Like
we
if
might
they
not have
wanted
seen
to.
the end of her.
They'd have to go back to Peridia, though. That's the thing. That's why they're bringing all those caskets over. They have to bring the bodies with them.
No, but I mean, she might pose a threat to the people stuck on Peridia still.
You know what? You're right, because Mother Talzin, beyond her death, was a threat in Rebels.
Yeah,
You're right.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
The way those witches, come back or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. With Maul around them and everything. Yeah, well, it's possible. I wouldn't mind seeing Morgan again. I mean, she might have just lived through the cut because she didn't get stabbed by a lightsaber. She just kind of got cut by one.
Yeah.
Even stabs don't work.
Well, and they might have to change things since Ray Stevens died, so you don't know what part he was going to play.
How come
in
if
the
you get
story.
sliced like that and it's only that deep, you die? But you can get like, oh look, JB's here. Jeremy, help.
Well, what's up, Jerb?
Yeah.
Man. Mo Biggs says Arctic fox or inbred emaciated polar bear. Mo.
Oof.
Oh,
Mo.
geez,
Mo.
That's my girl there, Mo. What
Come
you doing
on,
to me,
The the Shin Simps are assembling, Mo. You're outnumbered.
Do you mean the prettiest of all the girls on this show? And do you mean?
I
like
mean,
the
Sabag's my type.
actresses
I like those
who
blue
play 'em?
crazy bitches.
For me, that goes to Hera. I think Hera was just.
See, that's what I'm saying. Are we talking about the chick who plays Hera, or are we talking about Hera with green skin?
Even
and
with the
head
green
tails?
skin, yeah.
Because I don't know if I'm quite. I mean, I'm not racist.
The cakes make
I just
up for
don't-
the green.
I just don't. I'm not really into green chicks. You know. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but.
Now we need to see a Sith that can use magic.
They're in the Clone Wars. They even show Palpatine using magic. He makes Count Dooku give him his hand, and he cuts it and takes a drop of his blood. And
Yeah,
puts it into
yep.
his cauldron, and then they see all these weird visions and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. You've watched Clone Wars, Perth, haven't you? Pretty sure he has.
We're gonna make him.
I think he has. I've seen him comment stuff in here before. Leads me to believe
And that was another thing in and of itself. If you hadn't really watched, maybe not Clone Wars, but at the very least Rebels, there was a lot of the stuff in Ahsoka that you might not have picked up on. The nuances in between the characters that they didn't really just really explain. So you kind of had to watch Rebels to really understand Ahsoka.
Ahsoka was Rebels season 5. They should have
Pretty
just called
much.
it that and
Yeah.
been like done with it. Hail Barb. New people in our chat here. We say hi to everybody when they come in.
We're just in time for the last 2.5 hours of our show.
Yeah. We go in another 2 hours. It's about to roll this thing like 5 minutes ago.
I know.
If you guys want to hang out, we can keep going. I don't care.
You should do a video of you teaching people how to roll a blunt. That's kind of like lightsaber building training.
Here's
how to pack the perfect cone.
You just cut in like footage of like that Disney lightsaber building academy.
Here's the secret. It's in the thumbs. You have to go like this. The thumbs have to go like that. See? That's how you roll a perfect joint. That will be on the next Steve at Ask Steve how to roll the perfect space joint.
If I'm on Hoth, how do I roll a real fatty without getting my thumbs frozen off? I'm glad you asked.
Use the force.
You have to roll it inside of a tauntaun's gut.
Yeah, he split that Dutchie like a tauntaun.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, hey,
all that
baby, I
thumb
got
action.
some weed. It's 2:30. I'll go back to my place, smoke some weed. I guess that would have been fun. Yeah, I'm rolling this back.
I'll say that people who they haven't watched Rebels and the Clone Wars, but they're also not Star Wars fans, seem to do okay with this show. I've got a few family members who've watched it. They all say they like it. It's fine. They're confused about some things, but they seem to be okay. I think, I don't know. There is a section of the audience that's just not getting it, because after the first episode, the drop-off was serious. Like, the viewership was serious. And it's hard to gauge with these streaming shows how many people are watching. But I don't
So
know.
what, was it low enough for them to decide to scrap this, or what?
Not scrap it. It's just it was a drop off that was more significant than like the drop off from episode 1 to 2 of Andor.
Okay.
I want to say goodbye to all the chat. Thank you so much for coming out today. Michael T, Mermaid Messiah, Barb Rogers. Thanks for catching the last 5. Appreciate you. Birth Comics says use a machine to roll.
That's for pussies. Roll your they always run and they never burn that good. I always roll mine by hand.
Thanks as always to Mo Biggs.
Thank you, Mo Biggs.
Banatra, Jay Bird,
Jeremy Bird, definitely Banatra.
Kiwi Skirt.
Mermaid.
Your answer's coming along the way.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Stay tuned. Tune in next week. So, yeah, we got
Thanks for having me on, guys.
and
Absolutely.
Barb. Yeah, Matthew, thanks
Yeah,
for
it was a blast.
being here. And good night, everybody.
Night.
Okay. Later out.